What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 2PB Chapter 41 The illusion is activated, Mangekyo Presbyopia, 3 shifts, ===. Advertisement It's too late to say, then soon. Like a laser cannon, the moon-white Sero flew past Uchiha Itachi at the extreme speed. Uchiha Itachi had no choice but to grit his teeth and use body replacement technique quickly. Bang! After that, he jumped into the air in an instant and looked at Ching Yu ahead, his eyes condensed. Blood Succession Limit Sharingan, launch, the invisible chakra immediately rushed towards Ching Yu ahead. And at this moment, the moon-white Sero in Ching Yu's hand just rushed under Itachi, hitting a gray stone pillar. Boom! The stone pillar broke into pieces at the moment it touched Sero, but it didn't turn into rocks, but it turned into debris and fly ash. It's like being annihilated by a force far beyond its limit. See here, Uchiha Itachi's heart suddenly moved. This guy, even the magic that he released casually, has such a powerful destructive power. It's amazing. But that's it. Uchiha Itachi fell on the ground and looked at Ching Yu, who was suddenly motionless in front, and his complexion returned to calm again. At the moment he just jumped up, Sharingan's illusion has been successfully activated. He won. Seeing this, the masked man on the side also let out a deep laugh and said, "Oh, even if you say a lot of big things, there is nothing you can do in the face of Sharingan, isn't your strength just like that? Resolve him, 1,007. Heard that, Itachi raised the long knife in his hand and walked straight to Ching Yu's body, looking at the empty eyes under Ching Yu's mask, indifferently. Farewell. As soon as the voice fell, Itachi raised his hand at high speed instantly, his eyes were indifferent, and he slashed directly at Ching Yu. Although he has no hatred with the masked person in front of him, based on his own position, he has to do it. Advertisement It's as if he killed the Uchiha clan. There is no justice at all. Base. The blade swiftly passed, and the cold light of the moonlight lit up. Read more at mtlarchive.com. However, at this moment, a sudden change occurred. Ching Yu, who was still motionless, suddenly disappeared in place at this moment. Itachi's sharp stab instantly swept away. What happened? Itachi felt a chill behind his back in an instant. However, before he could react, suddenly, I directly felt a storm-like oppression from behind. Boom. I don't know when, Ching Yu unexpectedly appeared directly behind Itachi like an afterimage. Immediately, the fox ghost smiled and slashed it down. Boom. The frantic Shuji Ryatsu instantly condensed into the shape of a crescent, rushing out of the blade, directly towards Uchiha Itachi's back, and exploding. The terrifying coercion instantly tore the space apart and hit Itachi accurately. Puff! Uchiha Itachi's face suddenly changed, and a mouthful of blood came out. After that, the whole body was instantly blasted by an invisible force, like a kite with a broken wire, directly hitting the wall of the shrine, smashing a deep hole. Boom! While the dust was flying, another mouthful of blood spurted out. Itachi looked up very hard and looked at the man in the moonlight ahead in disbelief. Sane Sakura download, mini-program, Sane Sakura download, mini-program. How can this be? How did he disarm Sharingan's illusion? Advertisement How did it reach directly behind me in the instant of swinging the knife? In Itachi's eyes, horror appeared for the first time. In his cognition, since childhood, he has been Konoha's first genius. No matter what level he is, he has always been top. No one has ever been able to completely suppress him at this instantaneous speed. Remove one person, the big brother of Itachi, Uchiha Shisui. However, Shisui is already dead tomorrow. This guy. What's going on again? The corner of Itachi's mouth was bleeding, and he stared at the person in front of him solemnly. He realized, the wearer of this fox ghost mask, is a veritable ghost-like existence. At the same time, the masked man who was watching the battle froze suddenly. The speed of Ching Yu just now, let alone Itachi, even a bystander, he did not see the movement trajectory at all. This horrible feeling actually reminded him of the teacher he once had. Konan has yellow glitter Namikaze Minato. But, Teacher Minato died tomorrow morning on the night of the Nine Tails Chaos. What's the matter with this guy? The new space-time ninjutsu. Even, at the moment when Ching Yu took the knife. The masked man almost suspected that his eyes were not Mangekyo Sharingan, but Mangekyo's presbyopic eyes. Chapter 42 This trick is called Crescent Moon Sky Chong. Do you want to learn? 4 more, ===. Advertisement Under the moonlight. The dust flies up. Ching Yu slowly retracted the white blade in his hand, smiled and looked at Uchiha Itachi flying out in front of him, and said with a light smile. Hello, Uchiha hits 7. Is this the Sharingan illusion that you are proud of? It seems, but so, after Hollow, Ching Yu obtained a brand new posture. Even Zanpakutō was directly dyed completely moon-white by the virtual soul in his body. From the handle to the knife blade, from the blade to the scabbard, without exception. This state is naturally completely different from the sealed state in the normal state. Therefore, as long as Ching Yu does not use Shikai, there is no need to worry about being recognized by Obito next to him. However, the good thing is that after Hollow, Ching Yu's power has increased to a terrifying level. To deal with the current Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Obito, there is no need to liberate Zanpakutō. After all, the current dutiful son Itachi can be called a genius. However, it is too young. Even Amaterasu hasn't realized it yet, let alone Susanoo afterwards. This level of strength, of course, cannot be Ching Yu's opponent after Hollow. And Go Ying Obito and Ching Yu have already figured out a way to target him. However, it needs to be verified. Now, in Ching Yu's mind, the prompt sound of the system also popped out at the right time. Ding! Congratulations to host, the main branch mission is completed. Experience Sharingan's illusion, 1/1, once, completed, reward. Ryatsu plus 5000, Hollow experience plus 1000. Crack Sharingan's illusion once, 1/1, completed, reward. Ryatsu plus 500, Hollow experience plus 1500. Hearing the prompt tone, Ching Yu's heart moved slightly, and a smile appeared under the mask. That's right. Ching Yu just hit Uchiha Itachi's Sharingan illusion. In addition, it was still very skilled. Illusory technique, golden binding technique. Ching Yu at that time only felt that his eyes were black, his body seemed to be held down by a golden pillar, and he was completely unable to move. However, after only a moment, Ching Yu directly liberated the Shinigami Ryatsu that he had been suppressing, and instantly broke the illusion. Sharingan's illusion, essentially, it is through chakra to interfere with the spirit. However, in Ching Yu's body, there are two souls at the same time. Advertisement Shinigami and virtual. Although Ching Yu is now in a masked state, this posture, in essence, is Shinigami's soul borrowing virtual power. Therefore, what Itachi controls is nothing but Ching Yu of Shinigami's soul. The void soul in his body can still fully think and act in the state of illusion. Just like the perfect Jinchuriki can use the tail beast to crack illusions. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Of course, Ching Yu can also use the existence of void soul to directly break Sharingan's illusion. This is a very simple principle, but what surprises Ching Yu is that unexpectedly, after completing these two branch missions, in addition to the basic Ryatsu rewards, there will be additional Hollow experience rewards, which is probably related to entering the battle in the current Hollow state. Currently, Ching Yu's Hollow power is only LV.1 status. Therefore, regardless of whether it is Sero or Rongjuan, the power of various moves is still limited. When the experience is improved in the future, the increase will inevitably be even more terrifying. While Ching Yu was thinking about it, suddenly, the masked man who was watching the battle spoke solemnly. Fox Ghost, you just... What's that move? Ching Yu turned his head, looked at the masked man, and smiled. Did you say that the cut just now? Well, for this trick, I will name it, Crescent Moon Sky Chong. For the time being, it's easy to cut people. Why, want to learn? I teach you. Also, by the way, I'm not a fox ghost, don't name others randomly, the one-eyed masked man. Having said so much, you're not G nicknamed me. The masked man lowered his eyes slightly, then looked at Uchiha Itachi on the other side, and said solemnly. 1 hit 7, how are the injuries, can you still fight? The masked man wasn't caring about him. Mainly, it was hard to get Akatsuki a good thug, he didn't want to let him hang up like that. Although this guy looks like a 25 boy who was brainwashed by Konan, he is still very good as a chess piece. After hearing the words of the masked man, Itachi raised his hand lightly, wiped the bloodline on his lips, and reluctantly said. Can. Although he was slashed solidly by the moon-white slash, he still avoided the vital point in a very short time and was not unable to move. In order to win the trust of Uchiha Madara, Itachi didn't want to just release the water and end his battle. He decided to use Mangekyo. The silent Itachi stood unsteadily from the dust of the shrine. Advertisement then, suddenly opened his eyes. The blood-red light flickered in the dark, and the black pattern in the pupils quickly rotated and changed, and finally, it turned into a shuriken appearance. This is Itachi's strongest whole card Mangekyo Sharingan. Call. After letting out a breath, Itachi looked at Ching Yu in front of him, and his pupils shrank in an instant. Month read. Huh. The invisible chakra gushes out instantly, and Mangekyo Sharingan activates. Monthly reading. Uchiha Itachi's strongest illusion. You only need to look at the enemy, and you can instantly pull it into the world of monthly reading, in which time, space, and quality are all controlled by Itachi. It can be said that once this trick is used, it is equivalent to announcing the end of the battle. Itachi was full of absolute confidence in this move. If it were not for this disadvantaged situation, he would not use this trick. However, until a moment later, nothing happened. Under the moonlight, the cold wind blew gently. Ching Yu, wearing a fox ghost mask, is standing facing Uchiha Itachi, but has not been drawn into the moon reading space. Itachi was shocked suddenly in his heart, and his face changed slightly. Nani? What happened? My monthly reading, has it failed? Do not, impossible. Yudu Ming has been successfully launched. No, it won't be, did this guy just close his eyes? Chapter 43 When did you have the illusion of my mid-month reading? 5 more, equals. Advertisement. Uchiha Itachi was silent, he gritted his teeth slightly and tried to release the monthly reading again. However, after a while, the result is still the same. Hypnosis failed. The invisible chakra sent by Mangekyo Sharingan was blocked before it touched Ching Yu's pupils and could no longer move forward. There will be such a result, which can only illustrate one point. This guy really closed his eyes. Aware of this, Uchiha Itachi froze completely. Ever since he awakened Mangekyo Sharingan, he had never encountered an opponent who acted so strangely. Facing my monthly reading, he seemed to have known all the information in advance and closed his eyes directly? Obviously this skill doesn't even know Shimura Danzo himself. Seeing this scene, the masked man on the side frowned slightly and said in a deep voice in doubt. What's going on? 1007, Sansakura download. That guy has entered the world of monthly reading? However, as soon as the voice fell, before Uchiha Itachi could speak, Ching Yu suddenly turned around, faced the masked man, and said indifferently. You guys from Uchiha's family, it's really interesting. There will always be this inexplicable self-confidence. It's better to let me ask you, when did you start creating the illusion that I would read in the middle of the month? As soon as the voice fell, the masked man and Uchiha Itachi were stunned at the same time. And Ching Yu chuckled lightly and continued. The Sharingan illusion just now, I will just show it to you. Don't you really think I'm afraid of illusions? No way. Advertisement, even if you don't use your eyes. I can see you, clearly, too, just like this. Speaking of this, Ching Yu suddenly raised the pale blade in his hand. Without even looking at it, he swung the sword directly behind him. Read more at mtlarchive.com. The crescent moon rushes into the sky. Boom. In an instant, the violent void Ryotsu gushed out, gathered in front of the blade, and turned into a crescent-shaped slash, directly rushing towards Uchiha Itachi behind him. This time the slash is far more powerful than the previous one. Just the aftermath of the spread instantly destroyed the two stone pillars in front of the shrine, and completely shattered. And the direction of its impact was impartial, and it happened to be aimed at Uchiha Itachi. Seeing this picture, Itachi suddenly shrank his pupils and his face changed slightly. Is it possible that this fox ghost mask has the ability similar to Hyuga Byakugan? Obviously his back is facing me, but the knife cut is accurate to this degree? It's outrageous. Between the sparks and the flint, Uchiha Itachi had no time to think about it, so he quickly raised his hand and finished the seal with one hand. Fire-style Howard Fire Dragon technique. When the words fell, a huge chakra fire dragon rushed out instantly, carrying a monstrous red flame, and directly collided with the crescent in front. Boom. The moment the fire dragon touched the crescent moon, there was almost no room for resistance, and it was completely chopped up instantly. The explosion of flames directly turned into a frantic shockwave, and it suddenly spread to the surroundings in an instant. The injured Uchiha Itachi immediately gritted his teeth with the force of this storm, leapt into the air, and avoided the explosive attack. And the crescent moon that Ching Yu cut out, after colliding with the fire dragon, did not dissipate at all, and directly blasted on Nani Shrine. Boom. The huge shrine house collapsed at this moment. The huge explosion sound was ignited in the dark night, and it almost resounded through Konoha. In the aftermath of the collapse, Uchiha Itachi exhausted all his strength before he reluctantly jumped onto the open space beside the shrine. Kneeling on one knee, panting heavily, his face was very ugly, and the ineffective Mangekyo Sharingan was relieved at this moment. Huh. Drink. Advertisement, it's not working anymore. He is almost reaching the limit. After experiencing the backlash of the previous illusion technique being cracked, and the consumption of Mangekyo Sharingan, he currently doesn't have much left to continue fighting. More importantly, the previous slash from Ching Yu's back actually hurt him a lot. This is not for him to release water. Rather, he has been completely crushed by this white evil spirit wearing a mask. And until now, Ching Yu turned around, put down the knife in his hand, looked at Uchiha Itachi, and chuckled. Sure enough to be called a genius. When facing the unstoppable slash, I immediately thought of using the fire dragon technique to trigger the shockwave of the explosion, so that I could avoid it. What a wonderful operation. But, your physical stamina, I'm afraid it will end here, right? Itachi was silent and did not speak. He knew that he had been completely seen through. But what he didn't understand was that the chakra in this guy's body obviously looked very weak. However, why? He had clearly issued such powerful slashes continuously from the very beginning, but he didn't seem to fluctuate at all. Has he been secretly using some means to recover? Although it was temporarily unable to fight, Itachi was also thinking about countermeasures quickly in his heart. And at this time, a deep voice rang in the night sky. Enough. The joke with you is over here. Chapter 44. Your opponent is me, Uchiha Madara. One more, equals. Advertisement. The one who spoke was naturally the masked man. This man in a black robe calls himself Uchiha Madara. He slowly walked in front of Uchiha Itachi, then stopped, turned and looked at Ching Yu in front of him, squinted his eyes slightly, and said in a deep voice. That guy Shimura Danzo never told me that he still has a powerful subordinate like you. Your strength alone is long enough to destroy the entire Uchiha clan, right? In the beginning, he didn't seem to need a collaborator at all. The masked man said lowly. When Uchiha Itachi was in the game just now, he stayed on the sidelines for a long time, naturally to observe the strength of the person in front of him. And now, the masked man can already properly confirm. Perhaps this guy's strength is no less than his own teacher, 4th Hokage, Namikaze Minato. Whether it's the weird crescent slash, the ability to crack illusions, or the high-speed flash goddess technique, they are all horribly strong. How could such a guy play for Shimura Danzo's old yin ratio? The masked man really couldn't figure it out, and at the moment. After hearing the words of the masked man, Ching Yu suddenly smiled and said. It's really exaggerating me. Yes, as you said, Master Danzo did want me to act before, but I rejected it outright. As for the reason, it's simple. I'm not like you two, I can't do such a wicked thing as genocide. And, Master Danzo is also afraid of burning his body. Wouldn't it be better for you two to carry this pot on your back? As soon as the voice fell, the face of the masked man and Uchiha Itachi changed slightly at the same time. Damn it. Shimura Danzo, this guy, really didn't have any good intentions from the beginning. After a while, the masked man lowered his eyes slightly, raised a hand, and said solemnly. HMPH, it's already at the moment of tension, it's useless to say more. Bring it on, Fox Ghost Masked Man. Next, your opponent is me, Uchiha Madara. The masked man finally decided to do it himself, although he likes Go very much. But he also knew that he couldn't hold back now. The current Uchiha Itachi can no longer maintain a high-intensity battle, and it may hang here at any time. If that's the case, the gain will not be worth the loss. Moreover, the person in front of him wearing a fox ghost mask, since his current strength is already so strong, he can't go straight to the 6th level in the future? In the future, he will definitely be one of Project Tasuki no Mi's rivals. Therefore, instead of letting him continue to grow in strength, it is better to kill him tonight. Advertisement according to the observation of the masked man just now. Although this masked person is very fast, but it is simply moving fast, and does not involve the level of time and space ninjutsu. As long as this is the case, it has a great winning percentage. After all, no matter how fast you are, can you still be faster than the flying thunder god of Master Menchi? However, read more at mtlarchive.com, after hearing the words of the masked man. Not only did Ching Yu not have any accidents, but suddenly his heart moved, and the corners of his mouth were slightly raised. Waited for a long time, this guy is finally going to take the shot himself. In this way, the final branch task is finally ready to be completed. While thinking, Ching Yu pretended to be very surprised, raised the knife in his hand, smiled and raised his chin, and said, "Oh, the famous ninja Shiro Uchiha Madara, is he going to shoot me personally? I really look forward to it." As soon as the voice fell, Ching Yu's thoughts moved, suddenly turned into an afterimage, and disappeared directly in place. Then he appeared in front of the masked man, directly raised the moon-white blade in his hand, and slashed it forward. This time, all his Ryatsu gathered on the blade, and did not form a crescent, but slashed directly at the body of the masked man. Seeing this, the masked man sneered lowly, without any panic, and immediately activated his Mangekyo Sharingan Kamui. Base. Ching Yu's blade quickly cut down, however, at the moment when he touched the masked man's body, it was as if he had cut the air and penetrated directly into the past without any hindrance. And the next moment, without waiting for his swing to stop. Suddenly, the masked man who dodged past stretched out his hand and directly grabbed Ching Yu's arm. A smug look flashed in his eyes, and he smiled lowly. Ended. Oh Wally, before he could say anything, he started to activate Kamui again. But this time, it was the power of absorption. Before seeing his right eye, an invisible space Uzumaki appeared instantly, directly and quickly twisting Ching Yu's entire body in an instant, and completely absorbed it. In the next moment, Ching Yu's white figure had almost no room for escape, and completely disappeared in place. The wind has blown, and there is nothing else. When Uchiha Itachi saw this picture on the side, he was shocked and his pupils shrank slightly. Sane Sakura download, mini-program, Sane Sakura download, mini-program. What? Advertisement did you make it? The masked person who was just that strong just now was solved by one trick. Wait. How does it feel? Something doesn't seem right. Itachi's eyes gleamed slightly. However, the masked man in front of him suddenly showed a satisfied smile on his face. It's a success. This time it finally succeeded. In the Nine Tails Chaos, when he faced Namikaze Minato, it was because of the slow activation of this trick that the opponent fled with Flying Thunder God technique. And this time, he thoroughly learned the lesson of the last time, and at the moment when he grasped Ching Yu's arm, he did not hesitate or stay, and started directly. Sure enough, it succeeded. In the heart of the masked man, at this moment, there was an unprecedented sense of comfort. Even Uchiha Itachi is a ruthless character who is deflated. In front of my Mangekyo Sharingan Kamui, sure enough, it was nothing more than miscellaneous fish. At this moment, he even wanted to laugh directly. However, at this time, just when the masked man didn't know it. Within Kamui's different space, Ching Yu was involved, but there was no tension or fear on his face. On the contrary, his face suddenly showed the same smile and said the same words. Sure enough, it succeeded, because at this time, right in front of Ching Yu's eyes, on the ground in a different space, rows of square utensils are neatly stacked, and they seem to contain something unknown. Even if the box is not opened, Ching Yu has also fully understood its existence. This is the main purpose of Uchiha Obito's participation in the extermination operation this time, and it is also his biggest victory this time. Uchiha Blood Succession Limit Sharingan, and now, Ching Yu almost effortlessly got his hands on it. Successful prostitution. Chapter 45 Beasts and Mists, Obito's Inspiration, 2 more, ===. Advertisement just when Ching Yu looked at the Sharingan container in front of him. In my mind, the prompt sound of the system also popped up in a timely manner. Ding! Congratulations to host, the main branch mission has been completed. Experience Mangekyo Sharingan, 1/1, once, completed, reward. Ryatsu plus 500, Hollow Experience plus 200. Ding! Congratulations host. Your Ryatsu level has successfully broken through to LV.5, and your strength will be improved in all aspects. The moment the beep fell, Ching Yu immediately noticed the rapid change of spiritual power in the body. Is this level breakthrough? Ching Yu suddenly raised his eyebrows and smiled. Unexpectedly, his operation of entering Kamui's different space with the opportunity happened to lead to the task of experiencing Mangekyo Sharingan once. Hey, such a huge Ryatsu reward. After the main mission is over, I am afraid it will be difficult to see again in a short time. Ching Yu shook his head with some emotion, then walked to the front of the containers where Sharingan was sealed with a light smile. Next is the final operation. System, open the warehouse. Ding. At the moment when the voice fell, a bright rainbow-colored light appeared in Ching Yu's palm, extending out like a beam of light. And Ching Yu didn't hesitate, swept the beam of light to all the square containers on the ground. I saw that the moment all the containers were exposed to this rainbow-colored light, they immediately seemed to be decoded, slowly changing into nothingness, and finally disappearing completely. Yes, this is the warehouse function of the system. You can freely store any items that the light passes by, and then you can take it out with your mind at will, which is very convenient. And at the moment when the storage is completed. Unsurprisingly, in Ching Yu's mind, a continuous reminder sounded once again. Collect 1 pair of Uchiha's Sharingan. 1/1, completed. Reward. Ryatsu plus 1000, Hollow Experience plus 500. Collect 5 pairs of Uchiha's Sharingan. 5/5, completed. Reward. Ryatsu plus 2000, Hollow Experience plus 500. Collect 10 pairs of Uchiha's Sharingan. 10 out of 10, completed. Reward. Ryatsu plus 300, Hollow Experience plus 500. Ding. Congratulations, host. You have successfully completed all the branch missions in the main mission, Big Event Night of the Clan. After the main line ends, you will get extra rewards. The reminder sounded continuously, and finally it was a general summary. Ching Yu's face suddenly showed a satisfied smile. Advertisement this wave really made blood, now. As long as you successfully leave this different Kamui space, everything will come to a successful conclusion. Asking the masked man Obito to release himself? That is naturally impossible. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Now, going out with your own strength is the only way. Call, it's finally time to verify my guess. Ching Yu exhaled slightly, his eyes slowly became serious, and he also put away the messy thoughts in his heart. Afterwards, he raised his hand, condensing the moon-white Yuro no Ryatsu, and tapped it lightly into the air in front of him. Bang! There was a bursting sound in the air instantly, like a mirror shattering, with countless black cracks appearing. And the next moment, these cracks seemed to be torn apart by an invisible force, revealing the endless darkness in the cracks. That's right. Black Chamber, use Ryatsu to force the power to destroy space. According to the setting in Shinigami, this ability can seamlessly connect Hueco Mundo with 2 completely different worlds, and form a direct channel. So, theoretically, as long as the stability of the black cavity is sufficient, it may not be a problem to connect Uchiha Obito's Kamui space with the ninja continent. Ching Yu lowered his eyes slightly, and then stepped into the black cavity. The crack closed instantly, and at this time, outside Konoha village, in front of Nanga Shrine, the masked man Uchiha Obito walked to the side of Itachi, and after one picked him up, he spoke indifferently. Let's go, Itachi. Although there was a slight mistake in the middle, it is over. I'll take you to Akatsuki's base first. The movement just happened here. I am afraid that Sarutobi Hiruzen and the others have noticed it. Don't stay long. The voice fell. Before Itachi could respond, the masked man jumped and took Uchiha Itachi directly over the wall of the wooden leaf courtyard and left. Advertisement. While leaping quickly in the air, the eyes of the masked man flickered slightly in the dark night. He did not use Kamui Mobile. After all, at this moment, in a different space, there is still a person wearing a fox ghost mask. Although I temporarily trapped him with Kamui. But if you want to go 1v1 in a different space, you may not be able to win. No, it's not right. Maybe you can't win at all. After all, that guy's various moves are really weird. Whether it is a high-speed movement, a powerful crescent slash, or the ability to immune illusion. It's so weird. It was simply enough to compare with Ching Yu, the golden pupil kid in Akatsuki's organization. Correct. Speaking of the Ching Yu little ghost, the strength and breadth of these two people seem to be completely different. The newly appearing person wearing a fox ghost mask always gives people a beastly oppressive feeling, is powerfully aggressive, and extremely dangerous. But Ching Yu in Akatsuki-jang seems to be always covered with a thick mist, which is completely unpredictable. Thinking of this, the masked man's heart suddenly moved, and a new idea came into being. His eyes lit up suddenly. What if after returning to Akatsuki, I let that little Ching Yu come and fight the fox ghost mask head on? Haha, maybe. That will be a very interesting picture. Leaping on one side, under the mask, Obito grinned slightly. Chapter 46 Uchiha Madara. Are you overcast to me? 3 more, ===. Advertisement. Ask for flowers, ask for flowers, ask for flowers. Konoha Village, Nanga Shrine. It was shortly after the masked man and Uchiha Itachi left. Suddenly, a group of figures came here at the same time. All of them wore similar gray uniforms, various animal masks, and the same straight knives on their backs. They are Konoha's Anbu, Hokage's direct operational unit. Hi. What's going on here? Unexpectedly, the entire Nanga Shrine was completely destroyed. It turns out that this is the source of the explosion sound just now. Is there really a big battle here? An Anbu member squatted on the ground, looked at the deep cracks on the ground, took a breath, and couldn't help sighing. Tisk. It's hard to imagine what a powerful slash was caused. At this moment, another Anbu member suddenly noticed the two bodies in front of the ruins of the shrine in the distance. He quickly ran over and finished the inspection, stood up, turned his head, and said in a condensed voice. It's a Uchiha tribe who is responsible for guarding Nanga Shrine. It's completely dead. Looking at the wound, it is almost the same as the other people who died in the Uchiha clan. The murderer should still be Uchiha Itachi. Upon hearing this, all Anbu members fell silent, if we assume. If these two Uchiha people were killed by Itachi, then, who was the one who fought with him here just now? After a moment of silence, one of them said, it's useless to think more. Let's go, report the situation to the third generation master. The voice fell, he took the lead and jumped up, disappearing into the darkness. The others naturally stopped staying, all rushing towards the direction of the Hokage building. And at the same time on the other side. Advertisement in a dark basement in Konoha, Shimura Danzo sat steadily in a wicker chair, still waiting for something. After a while, a member of the Roots rushed in, suddenly lowered his head, respectfully. Master Danzo, the Uchiha genocide operation has ended. All the Uchiha people, except Itachi's younger brother Sasuke, died. Read more at mtlarchive.com. According to our members' testing, those who awakened Sharingan have all had their eyes poached, without exception. Hearing this, Danzo's expression moved slightly, then he nodded and said. Got it, go down. After seeing Hiruzen's actions, come and report to me. Yes, after saluting respectfully, the Root members exited the basement. On Danzo's old face, a faint smile began to appear. It succeeded. The biggest hidden danger in Konoha village, the Uchiha clan, was finally uprooted in my hands. From then on, Konoha no longer has the possibility of Uchiha's rebellion. Under the lights, the fire flickered on Danzo's face, and his smile gradually became more cheerful. It is indeed a genius Uchiha Itachi and Uchiha Madara, who is called Ninja Shura. The strength is really good, and the action is fast enough. Humph. Next, just wait for the masked man Uchiha Madara to make the Sharingan transaction. As long as you master Sharingan, the old man is tonight the biggest winner. Time passed by a little bit. The candlelight on the wall gradually dimmed. And Shimura Danzo, who was sitting in a wicker chair waiting, also turned from the anticipation at the beginning to gradually irritable. He raised his eyes slightly, looked at the clock hanging on the wall, and frowned deeply. What happened? That guy Uchiha Madara, didn't you say that you will come over and trade with me immediately after the action is over? This is so fast that I have been waiting for half an hour, why hasn't it come yet? Did something unexpected happen? Advertisement? Just as Danzo frowned and thought, suddenly, another Root member rushed into the basement and knelt down on one knee. Master Danzo, there is a new situation. According to our investigation, not long ago, there seemed to be a fierce battle in front of the Nanga Shrine in Uchiha. The identity of the participants is unknown. But our members ambush outside the village, but someone discovered that from the direction of Nanga Shrine, a mysterious man with a black robe and mask suddenly appeared, and Uchiha Itachi left Konoha directly. Huh? What did you say? Oh, Danzo's face changed immediately after hearing this. He slapped his chair and stood up, and said in disbelief. You said that a mysterious masked man was with Uchiha Itachi and left Konoha directly. Yes, Lord Danzo. The Root member suddenly lowered his head and replied nervously, not understanding why Shimura Danzo was suddenly so excited. However, after hearing the confirmation from this person, Danzo froze suddenly, his eyes went dark, and he sat down on the wicker chair again. With his hands, firmly grasping the sides of the wicker chair, the green veins were exposed, as if to crush the chair. And his eyes revealed an unprecedented powerful hatred. Yukaipo Madara, are you so, yin me at this time? What about the agreed agreement? I used the Roots to escort your plan, but did you even run away with all Sharingan? Leave none of them to me. Beasts. Shimura Danzo gritted his teeth fiercely, getting more and more angry, seeming to be angry, and suddenly started coughing frantically. Cough 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 cough. After all, he is also an old man who is more than half 100 years old, and he is suddenly subjected to such a big ups and downs, how can he withstand it? The Root member on the side suddenly jumped and said quickly. Tuan, Lord Danzo, are you okay? Do you need me to call you a medical ninja? Roll. Chapter 47 The summoning technique in another world is so outrageous. 4 more, ===. Advertisement. At the same time, the country of Rain Shinobi Village. In Ching Yu's house, the originally calm air suddenly appeared a hint of black smoke. And the next moment, this breath instantly turned into a crack. Bang. The sound like a broken mirror sounded out of thin air, the space was instantly broken, and a black cracked entrance appeared. The next moment, a step came out, it is Ching Yu. Seeing the familiar environment in front of him, Ching Yu's eyes lit up suddenly, revealing a happy smile. Good. Just one attempt, and I came back successfully. Originally, he was only guessing whether Heicheng could connect another world to the Ninja World continent, but now, he has thoroughly proved it. Completely feasible. Ching Yu raised his hand, placed it on his fox ghost mask, and lifted the hollow state with a light smile. At this moment, I saw the moon-white Ryotsu smoke spreading towards the surroundings instantly, and then, Ching Yu's whole body began to return to its original shape. As the mask disappeared quickly, his hair changed from silver back to brown, and the Night Palace costume changed back to Akatsuki's red cloud and black robe. Zanpakutō also immediately returned to the normal sealed state before Shinsō Shikai. Ching Yu walked to the desk with a smile, looked at the other herself in the room, and said with a smile. Thanks, my soulmate. Snapped. Ching Yu raised his hand and snapped his fingers lightly, and the corpse Ching Yu immediately turned into Ryotsu, disappearing instantly. And at this moment, Ching Yu's mind suddenly jumped out of the system's prompt sound. Ding! Congratulations to host, the side mission has been completed. Entering and exiting the Mangekyo alien space, 1/1, of the mysterious Maskman once, has been completed. Reward. Ryotsu plus 1000, Hollow experience plus 500. Defeat a shadow level powerhouse with Hollow's mask, 1/1, completed. Reward. Ryotsu plus 1000 points, Hollow experience plus 1000. Is this also a side mission? Ching Yu suddenly couldn't help but laugh in surprise. Advertisement. When he heard the alert tone, he thought it was a notification of the completion of the main line, but he didn't expect it to be a branch line. It seems to be aware of Ching Yu's thinking. At this moment, the system once again promptly popped up a prompt sound of mission success. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Ding! Congratulations to host, the main mission has been reached. You have successfully participated in the big event Uchiha Annihilation Night, 1/1, reward, the system mall is open. System mall. You can purchase all kinds of magical items or abilities only by consuming points. As time progresses, more products will be updated from time to time in the future. Ding! It is detected that the host has completed all branch tasks. Trigger additional rewards. Initial points in the mall 10,000 points, which can be used to purchase any goods in the mall. The prompt sound fell, and an aqua-blue illusory silver screen instantly unfolded in front of Ching Yu's eyes. Afterwards, all of the products suddenly appeared on the top. Props Vibration Point, Props Spirit Gloves, Shunpo 4 Maple Secrets, White Hits Double Bones, Swords Yuanlu, Keto Forbidden Technique Space Transfer, Outside World, Summoning Art Black Rope Scourge Hades. After listening to a series of tones, when you see the mall page in front of you. Ching Yu's eyes suddenly lit up. Damn it, has the system opened the mall? But what? In a pile of very normal goods, it seems that a strange thing has been mixed in. Otherworld Summoning Art Black Rope Scourge Hades? NMD, what's going on? Isn't this the Zanpakutō Bankai of the 7th team leader Komamura Sajin? Can it be summoned by summoning? Could it be that in the future, I can witness the Gundam battle between Black Rope Scourge Hades and Susanoo? This TM is outrageous. Okay. Looking at the system mall in front of him, Ching Yu felt dumbfounded for the first time. Advertisement. The system has released some very nonsensical side missions before. I didn't expect that there would be such nonsensical things in this mall. However, looking at the price of exactly 9,500 points, Ching Yu was really moved. Maybe you have more points in the future, you can really buy one to play with. Ching Yu seems to have seen that weird picture. One night passed by in a blink of an eye, although Ching Yu just experienced a battle not long ago. However, with the existence of the all-purpose item restoration medicine, he didn't feel tired at all. So I studied the system mall all night, however. Just when he was about to close his eyes and rest. Suddenly, a strange breath appeared in the room. Immediately afterwards, on the floor, a figure resembling a pitcher plant slowly emerged, making a low voice, and said, Ching Yu, the leader notified. Now Akatsuki's formal member meeting is about to be held, let's go. Finished. Before Ching Yu agreed, he sank into the floor again and left. A formal member meeting. Ching Yu stood up, looked at the raindrops outside the window, and muttered to himself. It seems that Uchiha Itachi is about to join Akatsuki. There's going to be another actor. Chapter 48. Akatsuki gathers, the 4 great movie emperors gather, 5 more, ===. Advertisement now. In the valley outside Rain Shinobi Village, above a wide river. A small boat is slowly rowing forward. There were only 2 people on board. A mysterious masked man in a black robe, and Uchiha Itachi in Konoha Anbu uniform. Itachi, how is your injury, can you move freely? The masked man asked indifferently. It's just the level of walking, no problem, Itachi replied. During the previous period of the Fox Ghost Mask, Itachi was hit by a deep crescent on the back, and the state was naturally not good at this moment. The masked man nodded and continued, if that's the case, then I will take you directly to see the leader of Akatsuki's organization. However, before that, there is something to be aware of to tell you. In the Akatsuki organization, everyone calls me a fray. I am not an informal member. I can only be regarded as a weak intern. So, you have to pay attention to your attitude towards me afterwards. The masked man said indifferently. In front of Uchiha Itachi, he has always called himself Uchiha Madara, the ancestor of the Uchiha family. Therefore, when Itachi speaks to him, he will use some honorifics unconsciously, which is of course easy to expose. Therefore, the masked man specially reminded him to pay attention to this point. But Itachi raised his eyes slightly and said, why conceal your identity? The masked man was silent for a moment, pretending to be calm and authentic. It's nothing, it's just, if someone knows that Uchiha Madara is still alive, there will be a lot of trouble. Understood. Itachi lowered his eyes slightly and stopped talking. Of course he knew what the masked man in front of him was trying to cover up. However, as the Mission Impossible, he also hides a lot. Advertisement. Now, within Rain Shinobi. In a dim cave, footsteps suddenly sounded at the entrance of the cave. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Clatter. 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 Very rhythmic and very relaxed. Ching Yu put his hands in the pockets of Akatsuki's windbreaker, and walked in a very leisurely manner. As a result, as soon as I stepped into it, I suddenly discovered that all the existing members of the organization had all arrived. From left to right, they are, the leader of Akatsuki G and EMI expert Tien Dao Pain. The White Tiger of Akatsuki Konan, a rich woman in the ninja world. The Nepenthes of Akatsuki, intelligence specialist #1 actor Mighty. Akatsuki worker Shuriken Kakuzu 800 miles away. The trader of Akatsuki bring the scientist Orochimaru. Akatsuki's iron head baby knife to tailed beast bomb Loquat Shizo. And, Akatsuki's miscellaneous fish the face of a passerby who was about to be killed by Kakuzu, Fuji. Looking at the lineup in front of him, Ching Yu couldn't help but chuckle. The difference from the standard 10-member group in the original book was really big. And at the moment Ching Yu stepped forward, everyone's eyes looked over. The first thing to speak is Konan, who has always felt good about Ching Yu. She raised her eyes slightly and said calmly. Are you here, Ching Yu? Today, Akatsuki has a brand new member to join, and we happen to take this opportunity to formally divide everyone's mobile companions. After all, before that, they all formed teams randomly. Heard that, Ching Yu nodded suddenly, looked at Konan, and smiled kindly. Understood. As he said, he was about to step forward and enter the queue of everyone. However, just as he just stepped, a slightly noisy voice suddenly came from the entrance of the cave. Wow! What's the situation? The seniors who are official members of Akatsuki, have they all gathered together? It's amazing. I have never seen such an exaggerated picture. Advertisement. The voice hasn't fallen yet, everyone looked at the direction of the sound at the same time. Two people came in, naturally, it is the mysterious masked man, and Uchiha Itachi. Seeing this picture, Loquat Juzo suddenly raised his chin slightly and said impatiently. Hey, who is this noisy masked guy? It's too noisy. As soon as the voice fell, the masked man suddenly made a frightened expression, and quickly explained. Ah, Senior Shizo, good morning, I'm a fray, Akatsuki's intern, but it's only temporary. Because, this time, I have attracted a very strong member to the organization, so I will definitely be promoted to a full member if I am very open. The masked man danced and said excitedly. Although everyone felt very noisy, they naturally grasped the key information immediately. This guy brought a new member to Akatsuki, in an instant. Everyone looked at the back of the masked man at the same time, the figure in Konoha's Anbu uniform. At this moment, the masked man seemed to be afraid that everyone would not know the general, and immediately laughed and said. Seniors know who this is behind me. Although he looks a little younger than the senior Ching Yu, but his strength might be stronger than senior Ching Yu. If you want to ask why. This Uchiha Itachi, he personally killed the entire Konoha Uchiha clan. Chapter 49. I brought the man who slashed the ferret, 6 more, ===. Advertisement. As soon as the masked man Afei's voice fell. The audience was silent for an instant, except Ching Yu, almost everyone had their pupils shrunk, shocked. They first looked at the 2 blood-red Sharingan of Itachi and confirmed their identities. Then, they were instantly incomprehensible. Uchiha Itachi, he seems to be only about 13 or 14 years old, right? You actually wiped out your Uchiha clan with your own hands? This is too cruel. What is the reason for this? Obviously, this question is not easy to ask at the moment. So, after a moment of silence, the scientist Orochimaru was the first to speak. On the contrary, a gloomy smile appeared on his face, saying, Yo, Uchiha Itachi, long time no see, heard that. Uchiha Itachi looked over at once, and the moment he saw this face, he was slightly startled and subconsciously spoke. Orochimaru. As soon as the voice fell, Afei, the masked man next to him, immediately made a sudden realization, and said. Yes, by the way, Itachi-san and Orochimaru-senpai seem to be from the same hometown. It seems to be a nostalgic reunion. However, Orochimaru didn't care about this, but still looked at Itachi, and said with a chuckle. Sure enough, as I expected, Mr. Itachi, you were born here. Hearing this, Itachi raised his eyes slightly, and repeated in a little surprise. This way? Yes. Orochimaru smiled and raised his hand, then explained. Able to put the village, companions, and relatives all aside as a cumbersome ninja, here is the best place to belong. Welcome to join Akatsuki, Uchiha Itachi. The voice fell. This time, no one spoke. But Tien Dao Pain jumped down from the high ground on the side, and slowly walked towards Itachi, and spoke indifferently as he walked. Once again, he said his very famous pulling lines. Advertisement. Akatsuki's goal is true peace in the ninja world, and Akatsuki will dominate the world instead of the 5 powers. For this, we will gather outstanding ninjas, regardless of their origin and experience. Use the gathered power to change the ninja world. Then now, Itachi of Konoha, welcome you to join Akatsuki. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Talking, Pain raised his hand indifferently, and handed it a handful of kunai. Seeing this, Uchiha Itachi was suddenly startled. But after a while, he immediately reacted. He silently took kunai from Pen's hand, and then slowly took off the Konoha shinobi forehead protector that he had worn on his head for many years. Looking down at the forehead protector, Itachi's eyes quickly flashed a trace of complex emotions. However, it was covered up just for a moment. Afterwards, he lifted up kunai and struck across the forehead protector forcefully. Konoha's logo was suddenly destroyed by this horizontal scratch. This is, as a sign of rebellion. Uchiha Itachi lowered his eyes slightly, and let out a breath without showing a trace. He knows. From this moment on, he will no longer be Konoha's ninja. He will usher in a new identity, and at this moment. Tiandao Pain also handed the red ring named, Suzaku, to Itachi's hands, and said indifferently. From today, you will be Akatsuki's Itachi. Together with us, fight back against Konoha more strongly. It's a ritual process of joining the group. Ching Yu smiled and witnessed the whole process, feeling more and more an MLM-like atmosphere from Pen. It's a pity that it was used on the wrong person. And at this moment, an untimely low voice suddenly sounded. Hello, I wanted to say it from just now, Uchiha Itachi from Konoha, your body seems to have serious injuries, right? What's going on? The person who spoke was Kakuzu, who had been silent before. Advertisement at this moment, his gaze has some doubts. And as soon as this word came out, everyone's eyes focused on Itachi again. Not to mention that I haven't noticed yet. That said, it seems to be true. Judging from his frail appearance, he can indeed vaguely perceive that he has suffered some kind of minor injury. Seeing this, Orochimaru on the side suddenly narrowed his eyes and smiled sadly. Oh, this is really weird. In my information, Uchiha Itachi, a genius, seems to have never suffered such a serious injury. I can't help but start to wonder, who can do this? Is it you, an intern? While speaking, Orochimaru suddenly looked at the masked man. At this time, the masked man immediately pretended to be very flustered and nervous, waved his hand and explained. Wow, how come? Don't get me wrong, Orochimaru-senpai. I'm just a small intern in the organization, how can I beat Itachi? Actually I know, because, the man who cut Itachi-san was also brought here by me. As soon as this word came out, in an instant. Not only Orochimaru, but all the other members around were also stunned. What's the situation? Gee, did you bring the person who injured Itachi directly here? Where? Chapter 50. The second element is so strange, it's so special to play me. One more, equals. Advertisement. After the masked man Afei's voice fell. Almost all the members instantly began to look around. However, but there is still silence, throughout the cave. Not to mention that people are hidden, even the breath of animals does not exist. However, Tiandao Pain suddenly glanced at Konan next to him, and a strange color flashed in his eyes. They know the true abilities of the masked man. His Mangekyo Sharingan Kamui possesses the power to transfer everything he touches to another space. If he hadn't lied just now, so, it is very possible that the existence of Uchiha Itachi that was slashed was really brought by him. And, in the different space of Kamui, thought of here. The faces of the two suddenly became serious. However, at this moment, Fuji with the face of the passerby suddenly spoke and said in a loud voice very impatiently. Huh? Where are the others? I said, intern kid, aren't you kidding us, are you? As soon as the voice came out, the masked man Afei burst into laughter. Haha, Fuji senior, don't worry. This person is very strong, maybe the moment I bring him out, you will be the first to be killed in seconds. Clam, Fuji glared suddenly, raised his eyebrows, and said loudly. Hole, you guy. Just an intern, are you looking down on me? Ah no. The masked man Afei immediately shook his head quickly, and then seemed to spread his hands helplessly, and sighed. Oh, I didn't speak big words. After all, Itachi-san and I have witnessed the terrifying power of that guy with our own eyes. If you don't rely on a little trick, it's not enough to catch him. However, among everyone present, I think, apart from the leader Pain, only Senior Ching Yu should be able to fight that guy. With that said, the masked man turned towards Ching Yu's direction as if he was very admired, and said with a grin. Advertisement, hey, after all, Senior Ching Yu is among all the members present, the only one who has a record of killing shadow-level powerhouses at present. Hey, right, Senior Ching Yu. Quote. As soon as the masked man Afei's voice fell, Ching Yu's expression suddenly moved, and then gently flipped by a Kugan. Obito, this two-dimensional monster, has started to play me again. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Think I don't know what your idea is? Humph. Want me to help you as a thug, to deal with the fox ghost that you can't deal with, right? Okay, then I will show you back as the actor, thought of here. A light smile appeared on Ching Yu's face for an instant, looked at the masked man, and waved his hand. The record of killing the shadow class is just a trivial matter. Alfie, where is the guy who slashed our new member? Bring it out, and I'll help you solve him. With that said, Ching Yu deliberately stepped out and directly released a little Ryotsu breath of her own. Suddenly, his black robe has no wind and automatically, showing a strong self-confidence. Quote. Seeing this picture, the masked man was stunned for a moment, and was stunned. What the hell, why didn't I even start the fight? Good fellow, you just rushed out and recommended yourself. Is there such a thing? After just a moment's ignorance? The masked man immediately grinned, revealing a general smile. Ah, it's so easy to be fooled, it seems that even if this golden-eyed little ghost is strong. It turned out to be just an arrogant who couldn't help but praise. Very good, since you volunteered, it just happens to save me to take the initiative to lead the war. After quick thinking, the masked man immediately pretended to be amused, and said with a smile. Advertisement, wow, as expected of Senior Ching Yu. Easily uttered rhetoric that I could not imagine. Hey, if that's the case, seniors, please wait a moment. I'll go out and get that guy out. I haven't finished speaking yet. The masked man immediately opened his arms and ran out of the cave at a very funny pace, and the dust was raised all the way, as if he was very excited. Seeing this picture, all Akatsuki members suddenly broke out in a cold sweat. And the Loquat Juzo on the side grinned directly and unhappily, saying, "This masked intern is too naive, right? It's just to find out the enemy, so it makes it so troublesome, hey." Of course Orochimaru and Kakuzu also felt strange. However, combined with the funny personality of the intern just now, it is slightly understandable. After all, it's normal for this kind of second goods to have some brain problems. However, at this time, only Tiandao Pain, Konan, Itachi and Ching Yu understood the meaning hidden under the masked man's playful actions. The reason why he ran out, it's just to cleverly cover up the ability of one's Kamui space. And this also happened to explain, the person who slashed Itachi seemed to have been absorbed into the Kamui space by him. Heavenly Path Pain was silent, and looked at Konan, thinking about what kind of enemy it would be. However, Uchiha Itachi, who was on the side, had a solemn expression and did not dare to be careless. Because he knew that the man wearing the white mask was a veritable ghost-like existence. If you don't pay attention, the person who greets him may be death. In contrast, Ching Yu, at this moment, he, who is about to start the war, has a nonchalant expression on his face. He just smiled, hands in his pockets, with a leisurely look. It seems that the man who defeated Itachi is not in his eyes. Chapter 51 Obito's Crazy Brain Supplement, 2 more, ===. Advertisement at the same time. The masked man who came outside the cave suddenly withdrew his exaggerated acting. Yes, of course he did it. Then, under his orange mask, a faint smile appeared. Asking Konan his fox ghost mask to fight Akatsuki Ching Yu was originally just his idea. But I didn't expect it to be realized so easily, it's like a god help. In this way, not only can solve Konan his enemy, but also explore the details of that Ching Yu little ghost again, which can be called 2 birds with 1 stone. As for the fox ghost in the different space after being released, the masked man didn't worry at all that he would not be able to beat him. After all, this is Rain Shinobi Village, Akatsuki's headquarters. Let's not talk about Ching Yu, just talk about the rest of Nagato, Konan, Taishuan, etc., which one is not a serious shadow-level existence. Especially Nagato, who controls 6 pen, has completely surpassed ordinary shadows, and can almost be said to be Akatsuki's strongest fighter, none of them. Even if that Ching Yu loses, he will come to fight it. The masked man didn't panic at all. In addition, although the fox ghost may reveal information about the masked man as Uchiha Madara. However, he had already figured out the corresponding perfect rhetoric, and he didn't have to worry about exposure at all. While thinking about it, the masked man stopped and raised his hand in front of his right eye. Afterwards, he smiled and muttered to himself, "So, let me take a good look, which Konoha's fox ghost is stronger, or is Akatsuki's pupil master stronger?" Shen Wei. Base. As soon as the voice fell, Mangekyo Sharingan was activated instantly. I saw a colorless space Uzumaki suddenly appeared in front of the masked man's right eye. After that, he immediately twisted his entire body quickly and completely dragged it into the different space. Since he wants to bring out the fox ghost, he naturally needs to go in and touch it personally before he can do it. But only a moment later, the smile on the face of the masked man who had just arrived in a different space completely froze. The moment I saw the picture in front of me, his thoughts were like being cut apart by a sharp blade, interrupted in an instant, and his mind went blank for an instant. He was dumbfounded. Advertisement in the different space in front of me, there is only a piece of emptiness and high walls. No one exists in it, even the square-shaped utensils that had previously sealed Sharingan, all disappeared at this moment. The masked man suddenly opened his eyes, and his heart shrank suddenly. And many more. Read more at mtlarchive.com. What kind of situation is this? Damn it! Where is the Konoha fox that I absorbed with Kamui? Why is it missing? Also, I obviously put all the Sharingan I collected earlier here. Why are they missing? No, impossible. What the hell is going on? Under the mask, Uchiha Obito's mind collapsed for the first time. His pupils were constricted, his breathing almost stagnated, and he felt cold behind his back. Because of this moment, he suddenly realized a terrifying possibility. Perhaps, Konoha's fox ghost was deliberately absorbed by Kamui from the beginning. His real purpose is to enter a different space and steal the collection to Sharingan. But this? How is this so possible? Apart from me, there are people who can leave Kamui's different space freely. A trace of sweat began to appear on Obito's forehead. He gritted his teeth tightly, thinking quickly in my mind. In his entire life, he had never thought so seriously. What happened? Apart from me, who else has the ability to open Kamui's different space? That fox ghost, is there any other helper? Huh? Wait a minute. In Obito's mind, as if a ray of light suddenly flashed across it, an aura flashed. Helper. Yup, Shimura Danzo has always been scheming. Advertisement since he ordered the people at the route to carry out Sharingan's seizure and extermination, how could it be possible to send only one person? Maybe, in addition to the person who was masked by the fox ghost, there are other members secretly assisting. And the disappearance of the fox ghost is inseparable from the helper's Jedi. Thinking of this, Obito immediately narrowed his eyes, and a familiar name appeared in his mind unconsciously. Hitaki Kakashi. That's right, it is the son of the famous Konoha Beidou, Kakashi. In the beginning, during the Battle of the Gods Wubi Bridge, Obito thought he was about to die, so he gave one of his Sharingan as a gift to Kakashi. It also indirectly contributed to the name of Sharingan Kakashi after him. If you say now, among Konoha, if anyone has the ability to open the Kamui space, then there is only one possibility. It's him, Kakashi. After all, that guy is the only one who has exactly the same Sharingan as Obito. In theory, if he also awakens Mangekyo, he seems to be able to do this. Could it be that the guy Kakashi really joined Danzo's plan this time? Gee. Damn it. Obviously the plan has reached this point, but those guys have calculated it. No, I must find a chance, be sure to return to Konoha village to take back Sharingan from Shimura Danzo's hands. The masked man's eyes flickered slowly, and he secretly made up his mind. Subsequently, so unwilling to leave the Kamui space. Now, the great battle between the Fox Ghost and Ching Yu that he had expected before, is obviously going to fail directly. But compared to this, Sharingan was all stolen away, which made him even more painful. Thus, in the future, it seems that I will have to live even more. Until you get enough Sharingan to use Izanagi. Just as the masked man thought about this, suddenly, a voice came from behind, interrupting his thoughts. Hey, Chapter 52 Fox Ghost and Ching Yu, perfect alibi, 3 shifts, ===. Advertisement, hey, Alfie. Why, nothing happened for a long time, you found someone to fall asleep? Hearing this familiar voice, the masked man suddenly looked back. Unsurprisingly, the person standing at the entrance of the cave was Ching Yu with a smile on his face. At this moment, his smile is still very leisurely, leaning on the wall of the cave, and smiling faintly. Oh, didn't you fall asleep? Come on, what about the person who cut Uchiha Itachi you just said? Where? Call him out, let me give him a second. Are you going to take him for a second? The masked man was originally on top of his anger, but when he heard this, he was stunned. What a shit. Did that guy escape from Kamui space long ago? Also, you are a little too confident about your own strength, right? That guy defeated Uchiha Itachi without injury, you are too arrogant. The masked man is very irritable at the moment, and wants to spray. However, of course he still remembers the identity of an intern that he is disguising at the moment. So, after a long silence, he tried again to pretend a phase funny appearance, and said in a twisted voice. Well, it seems that I was accidentally run away by that person, Senior Ching Yu. It doesn't seem to work today. How about that, when I meet him again in the future, I will let Senior Yu go and fight him again? The masked man talked like trying to lead the conversation. Hearing this, the smile on Ching Yu's face suddenly became stronger, and he nodded without breaking through. Advertisement, yes, I'll be with you at any time. However, I want to remind in advance. Ching Yu suddenly paused, then walked to the front of the masked man and smiled and said. If it's time, if you really saw the battle between the two of us, don't be too surprised. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Remember, intern, Sane Sakura download, talking. Ching Yu suddenly stretched out his hand, smiled and patted the masked man's shoulder. Let's go in. Afterwards, without waiting for him to respond, Ching Yu turned around leisurely, put his hands in his pockets, and walked towards the cave behind him. The pace remains the same, as if walking in a leisurely courtyard. Looking at Ching Yu's leisurely back, the masked man couldn't help but startled slightly. What's the meaning? Will I be surprised to see them fighting? I've even watched the scene of Uchiha Itachi being second. How could I be surprised by such a trivial matter? The masked man let out a breath without showing a trace, thinking in his heart. Gee. As expected, Ching Yu is still invisible to people like a fog. If it weren't for White Zetsu to watch this guy all the time, I would almost doubt if this guy had sneaked away from Konoha to act. That's right. Surveillance by White Zetsu. Of course, the masked man never gave up his doubts about Ching Yu. In fact, since a long time ago, he has been arranging several White Zetsu incarnations as range shinobi village residents to monitor Ching Yu's house carefully 24 hours a day. This time, when the masked man returned to range shinobi village, he immediately took time to inquire about the surveillance situation. It turns out that Ching Yu never left the room all night. All White Zetsu said that he didn't walk out of the room until the meeting organized by Akatsuki started. In addition, if Ching Yu really left range shinobi village privately, he should have been found out by Pain's Yuhu Zizai technique a long time ago. Advertisement. There is no need to continue to verify. Unless this golden pupil masters the same spatial ninjutsu as himself, it is absolutely impossible to go to Konoha without being discovered. However, in fact, in the months after Ching Yu joined Akatsuki, the masked man had secretly observed him countless times. It has already been possible to basically draw conclusions. His pupil technique called Evil King's True Eyes does not include spatial skills. Therefore, based on these facts, Obito finally gave up his doubts about Ching Yu. Although I have to say that the Fox Ghost and Ching Yu are equally powerful and weird, but their styles are indeed very different. It is also true that there are two completely different beings. The eyes of the masked man shimmered slightly, then silently followed up. For the mysterious words Ching Yu just said, he actually didn't care too much. After all, he knew from a long time ago that this guy is a complete riddler, and he likes to say these things that interfere with people's thinking most. Obito at the moment, thinking in his heart, perhaps, if you meet the guy with the Fox Ghost mask in the future, you won't have to worry about not having a thug. However, at this moment, what he doesn't know is, someday in the future, he will recall what Ching Yu said today. Because at that time, he will witness with his own eyes the moment when Ching Yu puts on the mask of the fox ghost. Chapter 53 Gedo Statue, The Ban of Akatsuki, 4 more, ===. Advertisement. The person who chopped the ferret had already ran away. This is what the intern Fei said immediately after returning to the cave. It can be seen. He seemed very depressed, far less excited than before, and kept his head shrugging. After hearing the news, Akatsuki organization everyone in the cave suddenly looked at each other. That's it? The person who just said to get out, just let go in just a while? Loquat Juzo and Fuji on the side immediately showed a look of disappointment. On the other hand, Kakuzu's gaze was dim, his hands were holding his chest, he glanced at the masked man, and uttered a few words indifferently. Hey, boring trick. Orochimaru's eyes flickered, not knowing what he was thinking. But at this moment, Tiandao Pain, Konan and Itachi were very surprised in their hearts. After all, only if they knew the true abilities of the masked man, logically speaking, they should not be escaped. Did something go wrong? After a moment of silence, Tiandao Pain put aside his thoughts and said faintly. If this is the case, let's stop here for the time being about the enemy. Now we will officially hold Akatsuki's first group meeting. Everyone follow me. With that said, Tiandao Pain turned around and walked towards a deeper cave. Obviously, there is the most confidential meeting place. Ching Yu and others immediately followed in. The masked man stayed where he was very conscious and did not follow up. After all, his status is just an intern now, and he is not qualified to participate in the meeting. One enters this cave. Ching Yu immediately saw a gray behemoth in the middle of it. Advertisement. The face is hideous and ugly, and the body is huge. It raised its hands, stretched out 10 fingers, and made a weird posture as if praying for grace. Still motionless, it seems that there is no life breath at all. The moment he saw it, Ching Yu's eyes flickered. The other Akatsuki members may not know what this is and what it is for. Read more at mtlarchive.com. However, he knew it all. This is the body of 10 tails, a special existence named Gedo Statue. Ching Yu raised his head and looked up. I couldn't help but sigh in my heart. Unexpectedly, this guy looked at close range, he was much bigger than he thought. At this time, in Ching Yu's mind, a familiar reminder sounded suddenly. Ding! Congratulations to host, the side mission is completed. Watch the 10 tails body Gedo Statue, 1/1, up close once, completed, reward. Ryatsu plus 1000, mul points plus 100. When the prompt sound fell, Ching Yu's expression suddenly moved slightly, and a pleasant smile appeared. This is also okay. Unexpectedly, he got a reward after just 2 glances. Moreover, there are actually mul points? After a moment of astonishment, Ching Yu understood it instantly. It seems that after unlocking from the system mul, all future side missions will probably be rewarded with a certain amount of points. This is not bad. After saving money, you will have to do extra tasks to make money. You can start to consider buying some items in the system's mall. When Ching Yu was thinking, the voice of Heavenly Path Pain came out. After sweeping his gaze over everyone blankly, he said indifferently. From today, Uchiha Itachi has officially joined Akatsuki. Send Sakura download. He will act as our partner, working together for the future plan to conquer the world. But here, I need to remind everyone again. Akatsuki's absolute prohibition, any private fights or malicious attacks between members are strictly prohibited. Advertisement, violators will be regarded as traitors of Akatsuki, expelled from the organization, and pursued and killed by all Akatsuki members. Do you all understand? At this point, Pain's gaze seemed to glance at Orochimaru next to him intentionally or unintentionally. Feeling this gaze, Orochimaru's expression suddenly moved slightly, and then he immediately retracted his mind and smiled sadly. Oh, this is really weird. When the leader said this, why did he seem to be speaking to me? Do not worry, I'm not stupid enough to do that kind of thing. Hearing this, Pain slowly retracted his gaze and said indifferently. Not the best. Afterwards, he continued to speak. Then, next, it's the first time Akatsuki officially grouped. This may also be a long time in the future, you need to be a partner who has been working in teams. So, please keep in mind, the first group consists of me and Konan. The second group, Kakuzu, Fujiwara. The third group, Uchiha Itachi, Loquat Juzo. The fourth group, Orochimaru, absolutely. The fifth group, due to lack of personnel, temporarily, consists of Ching Yu alone. Ching Yu was taken aback for a moment. Chapter 54 The most comprehensive genius, the one who wipes out the enemy. 5 shifts. ===. Advertisement. What's going on? Am I solo? Ching Yu blinked, suspecting that he had heard it wrong. But at this moment, the Loquat Shizong on the side suddenly spoke, interrupting Ching Yu's thoughts. Loquat Shizong frowned, looked at Pain, and said, I have a question. Since everyone has joined Akatsuki, does it mean that the strength is also a first-class powerhouse? A master at our level, why do we need to form a team for action? Especially, also let me be with this newly joined Konoha imp. With that said, Juzo glanced at Uchiha Itachi, showing a somewhat impatient expression. To be honest, as soon as I saw this boy, Loquat Juzo immediately felt uncomfortable. Now, if you want him to partner with this guy, it's better to let him act alone. Hearing these words, although Ching Yu's expression did not move, his heart became happy. This guy, it doesn't look like someone who will stop the tailed beast bomb for Itachi in the future. Just when Ching Yu was thinking, Pain spoke calmly and said indifferently. Because you have this idea, we need to team up. Yes, everyone, Akatsuki, it is indeed very powerful. However, it is precisely because everyone recognizes their own strength very much that it leads to inevitable conceit. And this conceit is also our biggest weakness. Because of your own conceit, it is very likely to despise your opponent or become too fond of fighting, so as to put yourself in a dangerous situation and die. Therefore, we need to form a team to prevent this from happening. Speaking of which, Heavenly Dao Pain paused slightly and then continued to speak lightly. The other reason is intelligence. Akatsuki, it's an existence independent of the ninja countries, and intelligence secrets are very important. Advertisement, therefore, in order to survive, we must put an end to spies. The mode of two people working together in a team can supervise each other whether the other party has committed acts of betraying the organization. This is the reason. After speaking, Pain looked at Loquat Juzo and stopped talking. And at this time, read more at mtlarchive.com. After hearing these words, Loquat Juzo was speechless and dumbfounded. With a simple mind, he did not expect that just such an ordinary group would have so many hidden meanings. But even so, Loquat Shizong still seemed a little unwilling, suddenly raised his finger to Ching Yu and said, "What about this guy? Why is he different from us, acting alone? Even if it is due to insufficient manpower, it would be too perfunctory. I want to apply for a swap with him. Let this Ching Yu come to cooperate with Konan his guy, I'm a single player." Loquat Juzo said quickly. He directly proposed to exchange teams with Ching Yu. Obviously, he still seems to want to act alone, and he doesn't know if it was overshadowed by the group battle of the 7 ninja swords. As soon as the voice fell, Ching Yu's eyes flashed. To be honest, after just listening to the grouping, of course he also felt very strange. Obito, the masked man, has always been uneasy about him, and arranged for various white Zetsu to monitor him. Why didn't you find your teammates to monitor when the team arrived? This is weird. It seems to be in response to Shizang's question, and it seems to be in order to answer Ching Yu's confusion. At this moment, Konan, who had been silent for a long time, spoke. She raised her eyes slightly, and Ji Yu Jing looked at the Loquat Shizong in front of her without a wave, indifferently. The reason why Ching Yu was separated as a team alone. Of course, not only because of staff vacancies. More importantly, so far, his overall strength is the most comprehensive and strongest in our organization. Whether it is speed of action, destructive power, defensive means or fighting mind. Advertisement, he is the top existence. For this reason, Pain and I decided to let him act alone for the time being. And his main task is to be responsible for supporting other operations at any time, as well as to all Akatsuki's enemies, perform an annihilation mission. Hearing this, not only the Loquat Shizong, but also Ching Yu's eyes moved instantly. Let me be responsible for annihilating all Akatsuki's enemies? This task doesn't sound simple. Is this just stuffing my hand? Ching Yu was a little dumbfounded in his heart. However, Konan did not stop, but looked at Loquat Juzo indifferently and asked faintly. You want to exchange groups with him, of course. But the premise is that you have to prove to us, you are stronger than Ching Yu. How about it? Can you do it, Loquat Juzo, clam? The moment after listening to Konan's words, Loquat Juzo, who was still very hard just now, suddenly turned green and made a weird sound. Am I right? What's the situation? Actually want me to prove that he is stronger than that Ching Yu? Just kidding. How could I be able to fight? Chapter 55 Mission Impossible Konoha, Akatsuki's 4th actor. One more, equals. Advertisement. The look of Loquat Shizong was weird, and he glanced at Ching Yu. Cannot help but recall a past event. Although he has not joined Akatsuki for a long time, he has never gone out to act with Ching Yu, nor has he seen his strength. However, Loquat Juzo once acted with Kakuzu. In that operation, he witnessed the powerful strength of the man named Immortal Ninja, in the legend. He controls a powerful secret technique called Dyuyu. Alone, he can circulate among several Jonin and even destroy them. Even the Loquat Juzo, who was born in the Mist Shinobi 7 people, has to admit that his strength is indeed below Kakuzu. But, not long after, in an accidental mission, Loquat Shizong met after Ching Yu. He originally thought it would be an enemy, but he didn't expect that he was also wearing the exact same Akatsuki uniform and wearing a jade ring exclusively for full members. Loquat Shizong immediately became very disdainful. I was very surprised and asked Ching Yu, why would Akatsuki let a kid like him join in? Result, before he finished speaking, he saw Kakuzu's face suddenly change next to him, and he grabbed Loquat Juzo's arm and forced him away. The Loquat Shizo at that time was naturally dumbfounded. What's the situation? The immortal Kakuzu changed his face when he saw this boy. And, when he asked why Kakuzu just snorted and said indifferently. Hey, because Ching Yu, the day he joined Akatsuki, he broke my 2 hearts. After hearing this, Loquat Juzo suddenly became numb. He knows how powerful Kakuzu's secret technique and ground grievance are. But the golden pupil kid named Ching Yu who looks ignorant can actually destroy 2 hearts directly. This is so outrageous. Since then, basically every time I see Ching Yu, Loquat Juzo, like Kakuzu, chooses to take a detour. After all, although this guy smiles every day, he seems to be very kind. Advertisement. But when it started, it was more ruthless than anyone else. A typical Mungsao type strong. Just as the Loquat Shizong was thinking about it, suddenly, the voice of Heavenly Dao Pain came again, indifferently said sad face. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Think about it. The Loquat 10 Tibetans, you have to challenge Ching Yu. Do you want to exchange packets? Loquat Shizong's face was obviously a little uncontrollable, and he stubbornly said. Forget it, actually, I think it's a good partner with this kid from Uchiha's family. When the voice fell, everyone present was speechless. Good guy, you changed too quickly. Hearing this, Tiandao Pain retracted his gaze, and then said indifferently. If this is the case, then Akatsuki's initial grouping has been set temporarily. If nothing happens, the future will not change. Next, it's Akatsuki's action plan. In view of the addition of new members, I need to explain it again. Listen, Uchiha Itachi, Tiandao Pain looked over with indifferent gaze, calmly said. Akatsuki's final plan is to achieve real peace in the ninja world with absolute strength. For this, we have a 3-step plan to achieve. The first step is to collect wealth through rewards and entrusted tasks from various countries, which will provide an economic basis for Akatsuki's future actions. The second step is to build a mercenary organization that does not belong to any country, and start wars on a small scale first. Then monopolize the war commissions of small countries at a low price, and increase the scale of the war. Then, it can successfully break the various wars. The ninja system of a big country monopolizes all wars. And the third step is also the most important step. Heavenly Path Pain paused slightly, looked at Uchiha Itachi, and said indifferently. That is to collect 9 big-tailed beasts and make them into tailed beast weapons. And use this as an absolute power to conquer the entire ninja world and achieve true world peace. As soon as the voice fell, Uchiha Itachi's heart beat instantly. Even though he had always been very indifferent, his pupils suddenly shrank after listening. Advertisement. Although he had also learned about Akatsuki Group before, he knew some of their actions. But I didn't expect it at all. Their ultimate goal is to collect tail beasts to conquer the world? Uchiha Itachi's breathing stopped slightly. Seeing this, Orochimaru on the side suddenly showed a somewhat unexpected smile and said. Oops, unexpectedly, Mr. Itachi would be so surprised at Akatsuki's goal? This is really interesting. Hearing this, Itachi just dropped his eyes slightly and did not respond. And Ching Yu on the side was amused. Itachi's reaction will of course be great. After all, this guy is almost the guy who hates war the most in the ninja world. At the beginning, he was afraid that the rebellion of the Uchiha clan would cause Konoha to be besieged by other countries, forming the Fourth Ninja War, and he simply destroyed the whole clan to prevent the rebellion. For people like him, Akatsuki's peace plan is of course very impactful. That's why this guy will frequently release water, even to the sea, in many subsequent operations. Especially the fateful battle with his brother Urzuzi was enough to be included in the history of the Ninja World War in the Pacific. Therefore, Akatsuki's goals for initiating the war almost completely run counter to his life creed. However, after a moment of silence, Itachi suddenly raised his eyes again and said blankly. Understood, boss. As a member of Akatsuki, I will do my best to contribute to Akatsuki's ultimate peace cause. This Konoha's mission impossible, Akatsuki's fourth actor. Finally, with his calm and composed acting skills, he uttered something against his heart. From beginning to end, there is no fluctuation in his expression. Chapter 56. Just fish straight, don't poke the needle, 2 more, ===. Advertisement. Akatsuki's first breakout meeting. It's over soon. Although some members, referring to the Loquat 10 Tibetans, were dissatisfied with the group opinions in the middle, they proposed to exchange with Ching Yu. But in the end, of course, he reluctantly compromised. And at the moment, except Ching Yu, the other members left one after another. Because the leader Pain requires everyone to start tacitly tempering and cooperating with their partners. At this time, walking on the street of Rain Shinobi Village, Ching Yu walked slowly to his house. In fact, after leaving the system's secret realm, Ching Yu's life rhythm slowed down a lot. At the beginning, for fear of being swallowed by the Manos Grande of Hueco Mundo, Ching Yu practiced almost every day and night, while studying Kido and Shunpo, while studying Kendo and White Hits. I never stopped practicing Bankai. But now, after leaving the secret realm, on the contrary, he can directly improve his strength by doing various side tasks. I have to say that it was a lot easier, and this time in the breakout meeting. Konan seems to have specially arranged a solo group for him, without the restraint and hindrance of his teammates, which is not bad. As for his mission, in short, just 2. First, it is responsible for supporting the actions of other team members. Second, responsible for annihilating Akatsuki's enemies. In other words, from now on, he doesn't need to go out to accept commissions or offer rewards and other money-making tasks like before. It can be said that basically bid farewell to the status of a worker. Moreover, if the other team members can handle the task, Ching Yu naturally does not need to support him, so he can fish in a straightforward manner. As for annihilating Akatsuki's enemy, this task is relatively broad. After all, Akatsuki cannot be regarded as heinous crimes in the ninja world, and basically is regarded as constantly committing crimes. Therefore, there will definitely be many enemies watching. Taking a step back, those who covet Rain Shinobi Village can basically be counted as Akatsuki's enemies. Advertisement. Wait, if I take advantage of this time to raise Akatsuki's prestige directly, so that those people dare not commit the crime. Couldn't even this second task be omitted directly? Ching Yu's inspiration flashed. Suddenly I was amused by my own inspiration. Good guy, if this is really done, it seems that in the future you can go to work and fish in a straightforward manner, without the needle. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Ching Yu thought about the plan with a chuckle while walking to the front of the house. As a result, before entering the house, he suddenly saw another direction, and two figures slowly walked over. The person walking in front is the loquat Juzo with a decapitated knife on his back. Following behind is the newly added Uchiha Itachi, who is still wearing Konoha's Anbu ninja costume. Seeing this combination, Ching Yu suddenly understood. It seems that as a partner, loquat Juzo seems to be responsible for bringing the newly joined Uchiha Itachi to choose the house in Rain Shinobi Village. And just when Ching Yu noticed them, these two naturally also noticed Ching Yu here. However, the expressions of the two are completely different. Although Uchiha Itachi's expression remained the same, a strange gleam flashed in his eyes. And the loquat Shizo in front of him changed his face slightly without saying anything, just like before, he turned and left. The alert Uchiha Itachi naturally immediately noticed the strangeness. But still pretending to be surprised and asked, "Mr. Shizo, why have you taken a detour? Will you be closer over there? Or, because there is something that can't be approached over there?" Loquat Shizong suddenly frowned and said unhappy. Whispering sound, "Does that still need to be said? Of course it is the little ghost with the golden pupil." The kid of golden eye? Uchiha Itachi was startled for a moment, then his eyes flickered. It seems that he is talking about the person named Ching Yu. Putting it this way, it seems that from entering the base before, masked man Uchiha Madara showed an unusual degree of attention to that Ching Yu. Moreover, it seems that he has tried to bring the topic over to provoke Konoha's fox ghost to fight Ching Yu. All of this, of course, was all in the eyes of Itachi. And, advertisement, one thing that surprised Itachi is that, since Ching Yu has such a powerful strength, why does he never seem to have heard of this name? Mr. Shizo, where did Ching Yu come from, and why did he join Akatsuki? Clam? Loquat Juzo didn't expect Uchiha Itachi to ask a question suddenly. He just curled his lips and said indifferently, "Hey, who knows this? It is said that Chief Pain and the others have gone to investigate, and they can't find out the details of this guy. But, listening to Kakuzu, he seems to. It's also a man whose homeland was destroyed by the war. It is said that when Konan found him, he was in the desert of the Kingdom of Wind, defeating Sand Shinobi's rebel puppet master Sasori. Because the strength is very strong and there is nowhere to go, so I joined in." Loquat Juzo said casually. These things have nothing to do with him at all, he naturally doesn't care about it in his heart. However, after listening, Uchiha Itachi's eyes flashed. Turned out to be a victim of war. I joined Akatsuki because I had nowhere to go. Uchiha Itachi fell silent, he did not expect to get such an answer. However, just as he was thinking, Loquat Juzo suddenly spoke impatiently. "Let's go. Stop the ink, Itachi. Anyway, remember, don't mess with him. After all, the evil king of this guy has real eyes and is unpredictable. Maybe the power is still higher than that of Uchiha's Sharingan." Huh? When these words came out, Uchiha Itachi, who was still thinking hard just now, was silly for a while. Nani? The true eyes of the evil king? What the hell is this again? Chapter 57. Are you ready to meet my anger? 3 shifts, ===. Advertisement, Evil King. True eyes? Itachi's breathing was slightly stagnant, and he repeated it in disbelief. Loquat Juzo didn't seem to notice his surprise, he just nodded, and said as he walked in an indifferent tone. "That's right. I also listened to Kakuzu. You should have noticed his golden pupils, right? It is said that when he uses pupil surgery, a white air current that burns like a flame will appear in his pupils. Then, he can freely release all kinds of escape techniques, even illusions. As for power, let's tell you this, Kakuzu and Orochimaru, both of them have been defeated by these eyes, and they have almost no strength to fight back." Uchiha Itachi's pupils suddenly shrank. There is no doubt that Loquat Juzo's words really surprised him. Unexpectedly, in this Akatsuki organization, besides the leader Pain who owns Rinnegan, there is actually a pupil skill owner. And, the burning pupil of the golden pupil, never heard of. What is this? Is a brand new unknown blood succession boundary. Uchiha Itachi was silent, his face unexpectedly serious. While walking forward with the Loquat Juzo, he was thinking at a high speed in his heart. It seems that in the future, in the Akatsuki organization, there is one more person who needs to pay close attention. As Konoha's spy, Uchiha Itachi suddenly felt the burden on his shoulders heavier again. In a blink of an eye, time came to night. Outside Rain Shinobi Village in the distant fire country Konoha. The moon is scarce and the black magpie flies south. Konoha Village, which experienced the Uchiha genocide not long ago, seems to have never happened at all. Except for the absence of patrols by members of the Uchiha garrison, everything is the same as usual. Advertisement almost everyone, they are very tacitly not talking about it. Even some people who have made friends with the Uchiha clan usually avoid talking about it at this moment. Everybody knows, read more at mtlarchive.com. This matter will surely become a watershed for Konoha. As for the news of the destruction of the Uchiha clan, soon, Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen ordered the entire village to be blocked directly to prevent the disclosure of intelligence. This move made many civilians and business people very confused and dissatisfied. However, Konoha's ninjas all understand its meaning. The demise of the Uchiha clan, it can be said that Konoha instantly entered a state of severely injured vitality. At this time, once the news is leaked, it is very likely that Konoha will be robbed by other hostile forces. This kind of thing happened in an endless stream in the past. It's like Konoha was robbed by the fire after the Nine Tails chaos. So this time, Sarutobi Hiruzen's speed of action and the intensity of the blockade have been strengthened as never before. Although Konoha did not seem to have changed, but it is always shrouded in an atmosphere of silence. And at the moment, in an ordinary tea room, the root leader Shimura Danzo is sitting face to face with an old woman, drinking some kind of unknown tea. While holding up the teacup in her hand, the old woman said quietly, "Shimura, how is your body? I'm here to visit this time, it shouldn't affect your rest." "It's okay." Hearing that, Danzo just said lightly and also took a sip from his teacup. The old woman in front of him, of course it is one of Konoha's two major advisors, Utatane Kaharu. Back then, she was the 6 disciples of second Hokage Senju Tobarama along with Shimura Danzo, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Mitokado Homura, Uchiha Kagami and Akamichi. However, after the death of second Hokage, Sarutobi Hiruzen obeyed Tobarama's order and took over the position of third Hokage, commanding Konoha village, while Uchiha Kagami and Akamichi were unwilling to fight for power, and took the initiative to withdraw from the top. The remaining 3 are naturally Mitokado Homura and Utatane Kaharu who have become consultants, and Konoha's root leader, Shimura Danzo. Although their usual contacts are not as close as before. But, after all, I was an old friend in the past. Advertisement. After learning that Shimura Danzo suddenly coughed up blood yesterday, Utatane Kaharu immediately took time to visit him. As a result, when I met Danzo, Utatane Kaharu immediately noticed that this guy seemed to be 10 years old all of a sudden, and his face was very pale and haggard. It seems that I have been hit hard before. After hesitating for a moment, Utatane Kaharu still couldn't suppress the doubts in his heart and asked, "Last night, what happened? Will you make you, who have always been calm and steady, anxious to be like this?" Utatane Kaharu's complexion was somber. Of course she knows the existence of the Uchiha genocide, after all, she is also one of the driving forces behind the scenes. However, she faintly felt that there must have been some mistakes in the process, which caused Danzo, who was originally very physically strong, to suddenly languish. Hearing this, Danzo looked up slightly, then raised his hand and shook it lightly without speaking. Of course he didn't want to mention it again, after working so hard for so long. Finally, the Uchiha genocide was successfully promoted, and the result? In the end, none of the Sharingan was caught. This makes Danzo often feel like being fed, very uncomfortable. If he is to see the masked man Uchiha Madara again, he must ask him in person. By the way, use some more methods to grab back all Sharingan in that guy's hand. Danzo lowered his eyes slightly. A sharp look flashed across his pupils quickly. But at this moment, suddenly, the mutation happened. In the corner of the tea room, suddenly, a black Uzumaki appeared out of thin air. Immediately afterwards, a low and angry voice suddenly sounded. "Shimura. Danzo, are you ready to meet my Uchiha Madara's anger?" Chapter 58 Uchiha Madara, what are you doing? 4 more, ===. Advertisement. When the familiar voice fell, Danzo's pupils suddenly shrank, and his heart tightened. This? Damn it. Uchiha Madara, why did I come right after I finished talking? Danzo's face instantly stiffened, he quickly turned around and looked behind him. As predicted, but I saw it in the corner of the tea room. Among the black Uzumaki, a man in black robes wearing an orange one-eyed mask appeared instantly. A red light was shining under his mask, that is, Mangekyo Sharingan. It is that man, and at this time, Utatane Kaharu, who was sitting across from Danzo, also happened to see this picture. After listening to those words, when she saw the blood-red eyes again, her face changed drastically, and the teacup in her hand fell directly to the ground. Snapped. The wooden cup fell to the ground, and the tea spread instantly, dampening the clothes. However, Utatane Kaharu at this moment can't care about so much. She looked terrified, staring at the masked man in front of her, shivering in disbelief, and said, "You, Uchiha Madara?" It turned out to be the one defeated by Master First Hokage Hashirama. Uchiha Madara? Utatane Kaharu repeated the name incredulously. This name is like a thunder. Huh? Hearing this startled voice, the masked man Uchiha Madara raised his eyes slightly and looked at Utatane Kaharu here, and then said in a low voice. Tisk. Danzo, you will have a rare visitor. In that case, I can't stay longer. As soon as the voice fell, above the masked man's right eye, a blood-red light flashed. Apart from anything else, Mangekyo Sharingan, the illusion is activated. Huh. The invisible chakra gushes out. I saw Utatane Kaharu's pupils, from the original fear, they began to change into an extremely hollow, completely lost consciousness. And her horrified look was so stagnant on her old face. No more movement. Advertisement. In the next moment, a black kunai appeared in the hands of the masked man. Seeing this picture, Shimura Danzo's face changed suddenly. Damn it. What happened? Why did this guy suddenly start to kill? Read more at mtlarchive.com. NM, didn't you cooperate well every time before? Danzo gritted his teeth and asked loudly, wait a minute. Uchiha Madara, what are you doing? The matter between the two of us has nothing to do with Kaharu, right? Danzo stood up quickly with an ugly expression and stood in front of Utatane Kaharu. Although he has no special affection for Utatane Kaharu, but, here, after all, his private tea room. In the unlikely event that Utatane Kaharu died here, he would have nothing to do with it. At this moment, Shimura Danzo doesn't want to carry this pot. After listening to Danzo's words, the masked man suddenly stopped. Then, he turned his eyes to Danzo, squinted his eyes, Mangekyo Sharingan flickered, and said in a low voice. That's right, then I will let her live a little longer. So now, it's time to have a good talk about the matter between the two of us. Danzo. Call. Hearing this, Danzo breathed a sigh of relief. When he saw the momentum of the masked man, he was really afraid that Uchiha Madara would directly start killing. If that's the case, he had to use his hidden Sharingan in advance. Although it can win, it is too bad, therefore, if there is no fight, it is good after all. Danzo now, there is still a dream that is not fulfilled. That is the position of Hokage. This obsession that has surrounded him for decades is the biggest barrier in Danzo's mind so far. Therefore, before becoming Hokage, Danzo would never take any risks. That Sharingan can't be used easily. Now, since this Uchiha Madara does not intend to kill like a mad dog, there is still room for conversation. Advertisement thought of here, Shimura Danzo calmed down again and started thinking quickly. Now that this guy has returned, it means that he still needs to work with Konoha. Then, maybe I can use this conversation to ask him again for the Sharingan reward from the last cooperation. No matter how bad, I can change the conditions of this cooperation to Sharingan. Ask him to hand over part of Sharingan before working with him. In short, we must find a way, first get Sharingan from this guy's hands and talk about it. Just say that. Danzo finished thinking quickly in his heart, then raised his eyes, looked at the masked man, and was about to speak. However, before he opened his mouth, suddenly, Uchiha Madara in front of him spoke up. He squinted his eyes slightly, staring at Danzo sternly, and said in a low and indifferent voice. About Sharingan of the Uchiha clan, Shimura Danzo, you should have something, do you need to tell me? How did you plan to use that guy to take all Sharingan away from me? Explain everything truthfully, huh? Shimura Danzo was taken aback for a moment, and then his eyes widened. 10,000 question marks appeared on the head at the same time. Damn it. Wait, is something wrong? What's the situation with this NM? You Uchiha Madara even asked me to ask Sharingan. I still want to take it from you *hole. You took away everything before, but now you even run over and beat me down. Danzo was completely stupid. Chapter 59 Danzo, will never take the blame this time. 5 more, equals. Advertisement silence. Solidified silence, after the masked man's voice fell. The entire tea room was so quiet that the air seemed to freeze. After a long time, Danzo suddenly reacted, then gritted his teeth abruptly, raised his eyes to look at the masked man, and said solemnly. Uchiha Madara, I don't even know what you mean by this. That night, my root members, but watched you take Uchiha Itachi with your own eyes and walked away from Konoha. Now you are asking me Sharingan, what do you mean? While talking, Danzo's mind became more and more angry, and his tone naturally became more and more excited. It can almost be said that the old face is flushed. However, hearing this, the masked man Uchiha Madara was obviously not good at all. He just sneered and said. Really good acting, Danzo. I was misled by your plan at the time, and now, do you still want to use such a clumsy technique to lie to me like this? Hearing this, Danzo's throat suddenly choked. Play? When did my TM act? Isn't a person acting the Lord Uchiha Madara you? Just when Danzo was frustrated, the masked man snorted again, indifferently. HMPH, it seems that you are not enlightened to admit it. Then, I'll just say it straight. At that time, at the same time when Itachi and I completed the extermination operation, the guy wearing a fox ghost mask and a pure white sword appeared among your men. He deliberately lost to me first, then he stole all Sharingan and left. Could it be? Aren't all this from your instructions? Ji Kun Tuan Zhang. Advertisement at the end, the masked man's eyes stared at Danzo, almost every word. If it wasn't for Sharingan's whereabouts, he even wanted to solve this old guy directly now. However, at the moment, after listening to the words of the masked man, Shimura Danzo shook suddenly and suddenly his face changed slightly. Read more at mtlarchive.com. You mean, the guy in the fox mask? Immediately afterwards, he seemed to have thought of something, his eyes shrank, and his face was ugly and quickly said. Impossible. In my root organization, there has never been any member of the fox mask. As for the pure white sword, I have never heard of it. That night, my subordinates were all monitoring the Uchiha clan's clan and Hiruzen. There is no way anyone will snatch your Sharingan. Not to mention, if I deal with you, how can I send only one person? In the entire Konoha village, how can there be an existence that can deal with you and Uchiha Itachi at the same time? Having said this, Shimura Danzo suddenly took a breath, then narrowed his eyes, and said with great weight. Uchiha Madara, haven't you found out? It seems that the two of us have been tricked by the same person. Quote ? Quote. As soon as the voice fell, the face of the masked man suddenly froze. Not from Danzo. He was still suspicious of Danzo acting. After listening to these words, he suddenly had a bad feeling in his heart. He was strange at the time. Why is that fox ghost so strong? But he chose to do something for Danzo. Moreover, when he appeared, he had clearly stated that there was a task of missing the mouth, but in the end, he only stole Sharingan and disappeared completely. All this is completely contradictory. Probably, the fundamental purpose of his appearance is for Sharingan. Tisk. Saint Sakura download. Thinking of this, the masked man gritted his teeth slightly. At this moment, even he couldn't help but start to believe Danzo's words a little bit. Advertisement that guy, from the very beginning, it is likely that Danzo was deliberately used to attract his attention, thus completing the theft of Sharingan. Humph. It's really a perfect plan to lead the war. The masked man squinted his eyes slightly, his gaze revealed unprecedented sullenness. At this time, Danzo's face was naturally ugly, but he still raised his head and looked at the masked man, solemnly. Your Excellency Uchiha Madara, now may be our chance to start working together again. Since the Fox Ghost knows the existence of the extermination plan, and takes advantage of this time to steal Sharingan, then, he is very likely to be the two of us by our side. As long as he finds his true identity, Sharingan can still belong to us. Danzo said firmly, seemingly sincere, and the masked man, after thinking about it for a long time, finally snorted and said in a low voice. Huh, then continue to cooperate. You must find out the existence of the fox as soon as possible and retake Sharingan. I will come to you again. The voice fell. In front of the masked man's eyes, a black Uzumaki appeared, and his entire body was quickly drawn into it, and finally disappeared. Obviously, he seemed to start investigating. And then, Shimura Danzo quickly called a member of the Roots, and sternly commanded. Quickly check it out for me. In the past few days, has Konan ever seen a man wearing a fox ghost mask and carrying a pure white sword? And, immediately release the highest level reward quests in the countries of the ninja world. With 90 million taels, directly offer a reward for this person. What? Damn it, 90 million. After the root ninja heard this, his face changed drastically, and he was directly frightened. He has never heard of it in his entire life. There is someone in the world who can have such a huge bounty all at once. Chapter 60, a bounty of 90 million. I catch myself. One more equals. Advertisement a few days later, in Rain Shinobi Village. When Ching Yu saw a reward order handed over from Konan's hand, he almost laughed. There are no photos or portraits on it. There are only a few lines of description, and the keywords are, Fox Ghost Mask, Pure White Sword, passing the Konoha village border, and so on. And the person who posted the reward, it only vaguely stated that it came from Konoha, without specifying who it was. However, just such an unreliable reward order, below it is actually marked with a more outrageous superlative bounty sign. The bounty is exactly 90002. Ching Yu raised her eyebrows slightly, and couldn't help but chuckle in her heart. Good guy. It seems that Shimura Danzo, in order to get Sharingan, is really willing to pay for it, and even directly released this kind of highest standard reward. When I just saw the 8-digit bounty, Ching Yu almost thought that he was part of the fire thief. Although as a traverser, Ching Yu is not familiar with the purchasing power of money in the ninja world. However, he also knew, in the bounty offered by the ninja world, the bounty is not completely equivalent to a symbol of strength. At the same time, the identity of the ninja and the degree of threat to the country or the ninja village must also be considered. Moreover, this bounty is not fixed. With the expansion of the influence of the rewarded person, there may be situations in which multiple forces offer rewards to them at the same time. In this way, the bounty will continue to increase again. In the original book, Sarutobi Asuma, one of the 12 ninja guardians of the Land of Fire, has a bounty of 35 million. Its companion, Land, also one of the 12 ninjas guarded by the original Fire Country, is 30 million. Advertisement, but the difference is that the amount of their rewards was slowly accumulating because of their identity and years of hard work in the ninja world. But now, Ching Yu started with 90 million directly, which naturally seemed very outrageous. How about Ching Yu? Read more at mtlarchive.com. Have you ever met someone who fits the characteristics of the reward order? Konan on the side looked at Ching Yu and asked aloud. No, Ching Yu just smiled and shook his head and said, where did this reward order come from? Kakuzu got it. He has been collecting various high-value bounty missions outside, and this one is currently the most special one. According to Kakuzu's meaning, every member of the Akatsuki organization can leave this reward order so that they can complete the task at any time in the future. Upon hearing this, Ching Yu was immediately happy. Good guy, I catch myself? This is kind of interesting. However, just as Ching Yu was thinking, suddenly, the system prompt popped out of his mind very abruptly. Ding! Congratulations to host, side mission accomplished. Successfully boarded a ninja reward order, 1/1, completed. Reward. Ryatsu plus 1000, mul points plus 100. The amount of reward successfully exceeded 30 million taels, 1/1, completed. Reward. Ryatsu plus 2500, mul points plus 200. The reward amount successfully exceeded 100 million taels, 0/1. It has not been completed yet and the reward is unknown. Advertisement. The amount of reward successfully exceeded 300 million taels, 0/1. It has not been completed yet, and an S-level gift package will be awarded. After listening to the series of tones, Ching Yu's heart suddenly moved. Unexpectedly, there is still a task to increase the reward amount in the system? Moreover, after completing the final 300 million branch line, there is still an S-level gift package that has never been heard before. This task. Isn't this a deliberate attempt to make me use Hollow's masked posture to make trouble? Ching Yu couldn't laugh or cry suddenly in his heart. But at this moment, I heard Konan on the side suddenly speak. Since you haven't seen it, please put this reward order aside for now. Actually, I'm here this time to release another mission for you. Ching Yu suddenly raised his eyes and looked over, and asked in surprise. What task? Konan's eyes drooped slightly, his face calmly looked at Ching Yu, and slowly said. The first traitor who chased Akatsuki, Orochimaru. Chapter 61. After a few days, Mr. Snake has rebelled again? 2 more, ===. Advertisement, huh? Ching Yu was taken aback for a moment, and subconsciously said. What happened? Orochimaru became a traitor again. Well. Sans Sakura download. Konan ignored the word. You, in Ching Yu's mouth, but nodded, then calmly and indifferently said. Just yesterday, he arbitrarily attacked Uchiha Itachi, who was unhealed, and seemed to want to seize his Mangekyo Sharingan. However, instead, Uchiha Itachi used illusion techniques to suppress him and cut off his arm. After that, maybe he was afraid that we would sell the matter, so he fled overnight and left Rain Shinobi Village. After listening to this, Ching Yu, who was still in a daze, suddenly understood. No wonder there is this task. Afterwards, he couldn't help but feel funny in his heart. Orochimaru was really a loyal fan of Sharingan. Under the circumstances that Pain repeatedly emphasized Akatsuki's ban, he still failed to restrain his desire and shot Uchiha Itachi. Is it possible that he thinks that if Uchiha Itachi is injured, he can take advantage of the fire? Too naive. Although his body was injured in 1007, his pupil power is indeed really strong. If it were not for the existence of the virtual soul in Ching Yu's body, with his current Ryatsu situation, it would also be inevitably affected by the illusion, which shows that his pupil power is strong. Just as Ching Yu was thinking, Konan opened his mouth lightly. Ching Yu, the task of destroying the enemy of Akatsuki is entrusted to you. Orochimaru has been in Akatsuki for some time. This time he defected, it is very likely that Akatsuki's information will be leaked to the outside world. If you find him, no need to worry, solve him. Konan lowered his eyes slightly and spoke without emotion, like an iceberg. And Ching Yu nodded thoughtfully, saying, understood. Of course, Ching Yu didn't care much about Orochimaru's defection. After all, he also knew that Uncle Snake was a smart man. Without gaining absolute benefits, he would definitely not take the initiative to target Akatsuki or Ching Yu. Advertisement, however, this does not mean that there is no need to chase him. After all, apart from Akatsuki's task of destroying the enemy, Ching Yu also has some personal reasons. That is the branch of the system. There is no doubt that there are many side tasks that can be accomplished in this Ninja World leader scientist. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Ching Yu certainly will not miss these opportunities to earn Ryatsu and points for nothing. Orochimaru, he was determined. But, in fact, he also knows that Orochimaru, a Baskin monster, has always been tricky and good at hiding. It is naturally impossible to catch him in a short time. This task can only come slowly, however at this time. Just outside Rain Shinobi Village, in the middle of the territory of the Land of the Wind and the Land, there is a country called the Country of Birds. On the top of a mountain, there are 2 figures standing upright. The former is Orochimaru. Behind him was a young man with a ponytail wearing glasses. He was kneeling on one knee, respectfully saying, Master Orochimaru, you called me this time, do you have any instructions? Orochimaru turned his head and said with a chuckle. Pouch, how is your penetration in Sanagakure going? Hearing this, Dudu was taken aback for a moment and then immediately said. Since you discovered the body of Sasori, the traitor Akasada, and asked me to take San Shinobi for an interview, I have been disguising myself and staying in it. At the moment, it's very smooth. Also, there's already a chance to get close to Fourth Kazekage Roshi perfectly. Oh, hearing this, Orochimaru suddenly showed a surprised look. Afterwards, he grinned slightly and said with a light smile. So it seems that the time has come for us to start manipulating the ninja war. Huh? Do suddenly changed his expression slightly, what do you mean? Advertisement, Orochimaru chuckled lightly, grinned, looked in an unknown direction, and smiled. I heard that Sanagakure's Fengying has always wanted to expand its territory, right? Then, why not let you give him a suggestion, Rain Hidden Village? As soon as the voice fell, Dudu's face changed suddenly, and he was surprised. Master Orochimaru, didn't you tell me? Rain Shinobi Village, has it become the base of Akatsuki? Yes. Orochimaru laughed and said, but I have quit Akatsuki now. Also, if nothing else, they may soon send that golden pupil Ching Yu to chase and kill me. That's why we need to quickly provoke San Shinobi's territorial aggression war against Rain Shinobi Village. Therefore, let them ignore my existence for the time being. Thus, in order to successfully complete the subsequent series of subversion plans. Is not it? Orochimaru squinted his eyes, a sullen smile appeared on his face. After listening to it, Do suddenly covered with cold sweat on his back. After a long period of horror, he bowed his head deeply and said respectfully. It's really you. I easily thought of the perfect plan I couldn't think of. I will find a way to pass the false information of Rain Shinobi Village to Fengying Luosha. Chapter 62 Kazekage Luosha. I'm not Konoha's dog. 3 more ===. Advertisement early the next morning. The Land of Wind, Sanagakure. The sun is shining brightly. The location of San Shinobi Ninja Village is in the middle of the boundless desert. Due to natural geographic defects, coupled with the continuous exploitation and reduction of ninja funds by the daimyo of the Wind Kingdom. So that this village will always reveal a desolate and primitive atmosphere. Commonly known as poor. But actually, before 4th Kazekage Luosha took office, Sanagakure was far poorer than it is now. If it weren't for Luosha's powerful gold dust ability, he kept panning for gold from the desert to maintain Sunagaku's money. I am afraid that Sand Shinobi's economic system has collapsed long ago. However, even so, the desolate environment of the desert still made the ninjas miserable. Therefore, regardless of the generation of Fengying, naturally, I hope to expand the territory and obtain a better location as the base of Sand Shinobi. But it is a pity that all the wind shadows in history have basically failed. And today, when Fourth Kazekage Luosha looked at the piece of information that was passed on from his hand, he was suddenly excited. The leader of Rain Shinobi village, that Hanzo of the Salamander, is dead? The Uchiha clan of Konoha village has also perished. These two pieces of news, like a bolt from the blue, were directly transmitted to the ears of everyone present. Everyone was shocked. Advertisement, but after the shock, it was an instant surprise. A high-level consultant stood up instantly and looked at Fengying Luosha, with an excited expression on his face. Sad face. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Good chance, finally waited for our good opportunity. In the past, we were forced to sign a covenant because we were defeated by Konoha in the Ninja World War, but I, Sand Shinobi, almost became their vassal ninja village. But now, we finally have a chance to get out of this predicament. Master Fengying, please immediately order the conquest of Rain Shinobi Ninja Village to expand the territory. Once the expedition is successful this time, maybe, it will be the beginning of my Sanagaku's rise. From now on, Sand Shinobi will never have to look at Konoha's face again. The high-level consultant said excitedly. As soon as the voice fell, everyone next to him also began to second, saying one after another. Yes. Konoha used to prevent us from reaching Rain Shinobi village, but now, they can't have the energy to manage. It's true. If the Uchiha clan really perishes, Konoha's strength must have entered an absolute trough, and it cannot be an obstacle again. If Hanzo of the Salamander is dead, Rain Shinobi shouldn't be afraid. Master Fengying, please order quickly. This group of old consultants had their faces flushed and their eyes gleaming. As if they had found a source of life-saving water in the desert, they began to quickly admonish them. After all, there's Rain Shinobi village. Its geographical location is also close to the three kingdoms of thunder, wind, and fire among the 5 major countries, and it is completely a pivotal strategic place. Advertisement once won, it can be said to be beneficial to Sand Shinobi without any disadvantages. Now that you have obtained this kind of confidential information, there is no reason not to try it. After listening to everyone's words, Fengying Luosha's heart naturally began to move around. He is not a fool. Finally, Konoha village has entered a trough of strength. If you don't take advantage of this time to rise, will it be a dog for Konoha for a lifetime? Of course not, only, the degree of this information is true and false, but it needs to be carefully judged. After all, if Uchiha didn't destroy the clan at all, wouldn't it be embarrassing? After a long period of contemplation and consideration, Fengying Luosha finally made up his mind, raised her head, and said solemnly. Notify all Sand Shinobi Anbu members and gather immediately. We must immediately confirm the completeness and authenticity of these two pieces of information in the shortest possible time. Once the confirmation is complete, we can directly start a war against Rain Shinobi village. Chapter 63 For the awakening of the battle, Sand Shinobi Anbu is dispatched. 4 more, ===. Advertisement time flies. In an instant, a few days passed. In the seemingly peaceful ninja world, the storm is already hidden. Sanagaku, under 4th Kazekage Rosha's order, 5 mysterious Anbu ninja squads set off quietly in the dark. 2 to the east, 3 to the north. The Anbu squad to the east. The destination is naturally the giant fire country Konoha Shinobi village in the east. Their purpose of this trip is only one. That is whether the Uchiha clan mentioned in the investigation information really perished. The Anbu team heading north came directly towards the small country, the country of rain, which borders the northern territory of the Kingdom of Wind. Unlike the first team, they came here for 2 purposes. First, infiltrate Rain Shinobi village to find out if the leader Hanzo of the Salamander is still alive. Second, if the 2 pieces of information are all true, then, their troops will be Sand Shinobi's advanced troops and directly wage war against Rain Shinobi village. This is the final plan of 4th Kazekage Luosha. At this time, the edge of the lake in Rain Shinobi village. A group of masked ninjas in strange costumes are huddled in a few dense grasses, closely watching the movement across the lake. They are the 3 Anbu ninja squads sent by Sanagaku. Attention everyone. You must sneak in cautiously and never be discovered by any ninja or force. If it is found, then solve it as quickly as possible and destroy the corpse. Advertisement, do you understand everything? Clear? All the members responded solemnly and lowly. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Because they all know that this time, it is related to the whole plan of Sand Shinobi's rise, and there is no room for any mistakes. And as Fengying directly under Anbu, they have already made the battle consciousness. Among them, there is no shortage of the top Sand Shinobi elite Jonin. This time, the plan must succeed. Very good, let's go. Just as the Sand Shinobi ninja village sneaked in. In Rain Shinobi village, in a cozy little restaurant. Ching Yu is sitting in a cubicle, enjoying a sumptuous dinner. Have to say, this delicious food from a prostitute really doesn't get tired of eating it. Ching Yu's dinner is free, and the reason was just because he was wearing Akatsuki's uniform. In Rain Shinobi village, Pain and Konan are highly respected and loved by civilians, and are honored as gods and angels, respectively. The owner of this restaurant happened to have been rescued by the angel Konan. Therefore, after seeing Ching Yu coming in the same uniform, he immediately enthusiastically offered to ask him to eat for free. Of course Ching Yu was so happy. After all, although white prostitution is shameful, it is also the essence of human beings. Advertisement however, just when Ching Yu was halfway through eating. Suddenly, however, there was a sudden change in the ring in his hand. Immediately afterwards, a familiar voice immediately rang from Ching Yu's mind. Ching Yu's heart suddenly moved, because of this voice. It came from Akatsuki's leader, Tiandao Pain. At this moment, his voice was exceptionally deep and serious. Hey, Ching Yu, in special circumstances, Rain Shinobi was invaded by a foreign enemy. My technique detected a total of 21 people in the southwest. Maybe I wanted to sneak in at night. The specific identity is currently unknown. Give it to you. At this point, Pain cut off the communication directly. Ching Yu raised his eyebrows immediately. What's the situation? Damn it. How dare someone invade Akatsuki's base camp? Chapter 64 Dark Night, Light Rain, Golden Pupil Boy, 5 Watch, ===. Advertisement. Ching Yu shook his head helplessly. Now is not the time to continue to be here, although he likes fishing very much. But now, others have stolen into the house, so naturally it is impossible to let it go. Thought of here, Ching Yu raised his hand again and looked at the jade ring on his little finger. The reason why he could hear the voice of Heavenly Dao Pain just now. Naturally because of the existence of this thing. As a symbolic item of the official member of Akatsuki. The role of this ring, of course, is not only to represent identity or beauty. It is also a special kind of endurance, communication ninja. As long as you wear this ring, Pain, as the leader, can contact any member at any time and communicate freely. In theory, Ching Yu can of course also use this ring for reverse communication. However, his ability to extract chakra is still very rough, so he generally doesn't bother to use it. After walking out of the restaurant, Ching Yu held up an oil paper umbrella and walked slowly forward. The drizzle was hazy, but uninterrupted. This is the ability Tiandao Pain uses to monitor the entire Rain Shinobi village. Yuhu Zizai technique. By injecting his own chakra into the rain, he can instantly probe all the things touched by the raindrops. Those invaders naturally have nowhere to hide. This kind of technique is already very convenient. But, advertisement Ching Yu has a more convenient method of detection. Ching Yu showed a faint smile while walking forward, muttering to himself. Let me take a look, which force of ninjas is going to win the prize. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Thoughts moved. Ching Yu immediately expanded his perception of Ryatsu beyond the entire Rain Shinobi village. The invisible thin Ryatsu gushes out, covering every corner of the entire Rain Shinobi village in an instant. When his Ryatsu rose to LV.5, Ryatsu's perception ability immediately increased simultaneously, and the range became very huge. For a small place like Rain Shinobi village, it can be easily covered. And only a moment later, Ching Yu immediately noticed those strange auras. Found it. The corner of Ching Yu's mouth raised slightly, and then he took a step. Base. A shunpo. Even with an umbrella, he disappeared in the rain. On the other side at this time, the shinobi of Sanagakure successfully sneaked in from the lake, and all of them let out a sigh of relief. Call, fortunately, it was not found, successfully sneaked in. Hey, Rain Shinobi village's defense has been negligent to this point? Sure enough. Just as the intelligence said, that Hanzo, maybe he really is dead. Advertisement. In this way, it's already half the battle. Many Sand Shinobi suddenly felt a faint trace of success in their hearts. But at this moment, suddenly, behind them, a teenager's chuckle came. Oh, is this half done? It seems that Sand Shinobi's understanding of the word success seems a little different. Who? As soon as this abrupt voice came out. Suddenly, all Sand Shinobi's complexion changed, and at the same time they felt a chill behind their backs. Immediately afterwards, almost all of them turned around and looked back in horror. However, they only saw, in the light rain ahead, above the lake. A black-clothed boy with golden pupils was standing in midair quietly holding an umbrella, smiling at them. Sorry, Sand Shinobi's ninjas. After nightfall, Rain Shinobi village will not entertain guests. Chapter 65 This guy, will he make a big move at the beginning? One more, ===. Advertisement. In an instant, all of Sand Shinobi's pupils shrank abruptly, horrified. What's going on? This guy, when did he appear behind us? We obviously just sneaked in from the lake, there is absolutely no talent in that direction. And, why can this guy stand in the air? For a while. Everyone was stunned. However, only a moment later, the captain of Anbu Sand Shinobi reacted immediately. He suddenly sank, lowered his voice and gritted his teeth and ordered. Tisk. Hurry up. Get rid of this guy quickly. Forgot our mission? After speaking, the Sand Shinobi ninja directly raised his hand and quickly summoned a puppet first. Immediately afterwards, he directly controlled his puppet and rushed towards the young man in front. Although he doesn't know who the person in front of him is. However, being able to say the words just now is enough to prove, he is definitely from Rain Shinobi village. At this time, there can be no hesitation, hesitate, and you will lose. Quote exclamation mark quote. Sand Shinobi on the side, seeing that the captain had all shot, naturally they all reacted immediately. Immediately afterwards, everyone suddenly shot their faces solemnly. A series of fancy ninjutsu and ninja attacks rushed out at the same time, and directly covered Ching Yu in front, forming an overwhelming siege. The falling light rain was completely dissipated by these various attacks in an instant. However, even at this time, Ching Yu still stood on the surface of the lake, standing still. Advertisement. He just looked ahead quietly, holding the umbrella with one hand, grinning slightly and smiling. 73 of Hado Shuanglian Kanghuo Pendant. Boom. Before the words fell, Ryotsu broke out in an instant. Read more at mtlarchive.com. The blue flame appears out of thin air, directly in front of Ching Yu's pupils, rushing out instantly with the terrifying power of burning everything. Bang! All the Sand Shinobi ninjas' attacks, as soon as they touched the falling fire, they immediately made a blasting sound. The sudden shock wave quickly spread to the surroundings. However, the blue flame did not weaken in the slightest, and the fire was even bigger. The entire night sky seemed to be embellished with a blue color by this weird flame. Next moment, the manic firestorm is like the overturning of the ocean, and it is overwhelming, and directly floods all 21 Sand Shinobi. All the ninjas of Sand Shinobi suddenly changed their faces and were terrified. What happened? With the power of one person, the joint ninjutsu of so many of us has been overwhelmed. Who is this golden pupil guy? Hey, however. It's too late and it's fast. At this moment, they have no room to dodge in front of the sky full of blue flames. Boom. The violent fall of the fire did not give them extra time to defend, so it directly swallowed them ruthlessly. Hum. The earth-shattering noise exploded, and the place where the flame touched, the boulders and trees were all destroyed. After a long time, countless smoke and dust began to slowly dissipate. Saint Sakura download, mini-program, Saint Sakura download, mini-program. And at this time, among Sand Shinobi's 3 Anbu teams, except for a few people, all the rest have passed out at this moment. Advertisement. The puppet summoned by Captain Sand Shinobi has also been completely burned. At this moment, his pupils are tightening, blood is overflowing from the corner of his mouth, and he is desperately looking at Ching Yu in front of him, unbelievable in his heart. What happened? This guy with the golden pupil, did he make a big move at the beginning of the game? Just when he was horrified, suddenly, the change happened again. I saw the boy with an umbrella in front of him, and his figure suddenly disappeared in the rain. And the next moment, he appeared directly in front of him. Captain Sand Shinobi's face suddenly changed, and he was about to get up and attack. However, before he had time to start, in an instant, Ching Yu's foot directly stepped on his chest. Oh, ah! The pain in his chest made him scream involuntarily. At this time, Ching Yu leaned down slightly, stared at his eyes, and said with a light smile. Look at the costumes. Are you members of Sand Shinobi's Anbu? Your 4th Kazekage Luosha dares to hit Rain Shinobi's idea. It's really unexpected. Could it be that he is thinking that his life is too long? Chapter 66. Is this all suppressed? 2 more, equals. Advertisement. At the same time on the other side. Rain Shinobi Village, above the tallest gray building. Tiandao Pain is watching the dark distance quietly, and observes all the movements of the entire Rain Shinobi village with the Rain Tiger Free technique. But at this moment, suddenly, in the darkness in the distance, a dazzling blue light instantly rose into the sky, drenching the entire night sky. Immediately afterwards, there was a deafening violent sound. Boom. Even at such a distance, but still can clearly feel the extremely strong feeling of hot pressure. Tiandao Pain frowned suddenly, his eyes flashed. In his mouth, there was a sudden sound of doubt that seemed to be unconscious. Hearing this voice, Konan on the side immediately noticed the abnormality and asked. What's wrong, Nagato? Heavenly Dao Pain turned his head slightly and looked over. There was a dignified look in his eyes, and said. Konan, did you find out? During the period since Ching Yu joined the Akatsuki organization, his strength is still growing rapidly. Hearing that, Konan's breathing suddenly stagnated. You mean, is he still getting stronger? Yes. Heavenly Dao Pain nodded indifferently and then said with a solemn gaze. Since he first entered Rain Shinobi Village, my Yuhu freedom technique has touched him many times. However, it wasn't until tonight that I suddenly discovered, his breath now is far more powerful than before. It can even be said that they are completely different from each other. Even the blue fire style he used just now, its power increase is so obvious. He, definitely getting stronger. Heavenly Dao Pain's eyes flickered slightly, and the conclusion was made categorically. Advertisement. As soon as the voice fell, Konan was stunned for an instant, completely aphasia. She didn't know what to say anymore. Incredible. A young man who was originally strong enough to kill a shadow-level powerhouse in a second, is still growing rapidly? If it wasn't for Nagato to say this, read more at mtlarchive.com. Konan would never believe it, but Nagato's ability to sense has never made a mistake. That is to say, this Ching Yu has indeed been getting stronger since joining Akatsuki. In the end what kind of monster? Just when Konan was startled thinking. On the side, Pain suddenly turned around and looked at the darkness in the distance. Then, with his back to Konan, he spoke lightly. Never mind. Maybe, this is also a good thing. With a genius like him supporting Akatsuki to move forward, we can go further. Peace in the ninja world may also be one step closer to us. Pain said lightly. Konan on the side dropped his eyes slightly. But at this moment, suddenly, there were 2 oars and they immediately began to approach the building at high speed. ? Before Konan and Pain react. Next moment. Base. The sound of the wind is sounding, and the sound of the rain is cut off. Ching Yu, dressed in black, appeared directly in front of Konan and Pen. In his left hand, he was carrying an open umbrella, and in his right hand, but he was carrying a man who had passed out in a coma. That costume is advertisement Wind Country Sand Shinobi's Anbu Ninja? Pain and Konan suddenly shrank their pupils and recognized them at the same time. At this time, Ching Yu casually threw the person to the ground, and then smiled and looked at the two of them. While raising the umbrella in his hand, he chuckled and said, 21 people are all suppressed. This man seems to be the leader of their operation. As for the others, I have all locked up. As for interrogation and the like, leave it to you. Gone. As soon as the voice fell, Ching Yu didn't look at their reaction. He directly carried the umbrella on his shoulders, took a leisurely step, and left freely and easily. From beginning to end, he didn't even give the two Akatsuki leaders a chance to speak. The scene fell into a weird silence for an instant. Pain and Konan first glanced at Sand Shinobi who was unconscious on the ground. Afterwards, he raised his eyes again to look at the back of Ching Yu who was leaving in the distance, and finally, the two looked at each other, both stunned. What happened? Didn't I just tell him about the enemy's invasion dozens of seconds ago? Is this all suppressed? Just using a blue fire style, easily solved 21 Sand Shinobi's Anbu elite ninjas? Hiss, the pupil power of this guy. How strong is it already? Chapter 67 In the name of Rain Shinobi, use force to deter Sand Shinobi. 3 more, ===. Advertisement the next day, early morning. Everything is almost the same as usual. The sudden intrusion incident last night did not bring any disturbance to this little forbearance village. All the civilians and Rain Shinobi seemed to be used to the sudden outbreak of fighting in the village. The 21 Anbu ninjas of Sand Shinobi were finally imprisoned by Rain Shinobi under Pen's orders. Subsequently, just as Ching Yu expected, shortly after Akatsuki, Pain immediately used the ring to call Ching Yu. I have a task, Ching Yu. The base will meet in 3 minutes, and I will explain in detail. As for this transmission, of course Ching Yu had already expected it in his heart, got up directly, and headed towards the direction of the base. Ching Yu just entered the base, he immediately saw Pain and Konan who were waiting ahead. Ching Yu put his hands in his pockets, walked over, and asked very casually. It looks like, did you get the result of the trial last night? This leisurely posture, as if he was Akatsuki's leader. However, Pain only looked calm and didn't care about these minor details. He nodded indifferently, and said, the Sand Shinobi confessed honestly. 5 days ago, Fourth Kazekage Luosha suddenly received a mysterious piece of information, which said that Hanzo of the Salamander was dead and Konoha Uchiha was exterminated. Therefore, Luosha, who was eager to expand the territory, ordered them to sneak in here to investigate the intelligence. After Ching Yu listened, his eyes moved slightly. Advertisement the information I suddenly received 5 days ago? Gee, the source of this information is too obvious. Ching Yu couldn't help but chuckled and shook his head. The night 6 days ago, read more at mtlarchive.com. Orochimaru failed to attack Uchiha Itachi and defected to Rain Shinobi village. Only 1 day after he defected, Sanagakure of the Kingdom of Wind suddenly received 2 pieces of information, Rain Shinobi village and Uchiha. The tricky part of this, as long as you are not stupid, you can understand it after a little thought. Have to say, this trick of Orochimaru is really bad. In order to divert herself out of Akatsuki's attention, she even deliberately persecuted the Fengying Luosha. This behavior is more than wickedness, it is simply wickedness. While thinking in Ching Yu's heart, Tiandao Pain suddenly spoke again, interrupting his thoughts. His eyes were indifferent, his reincarnation eyes were staring at Ching Yu, and he said lightly. Ching Yu. You should have noticed, right? This information leakage incident is very likely. The defected Orochimaru did it. It seems that the thing that worries us the most has happened after all. Since he can sell Rain Shinobi's information, he is likely to betray Akatsuki's information directly in the next step. In this way, our future actions in the Shinobi world will become extremely difficult. This is never allowed, as he said. Pain's gaze suddenly sank slightly, decisively. We can't just wait and die anymore, you must act now. So Ching Yu, your goal of action this time, is to go to Sanagakure, the country of wind. From the results of the interrogation last night. Advertisement. Sanagakure's temptation to Rain Shinobi will not stop once, therefore, we must deter them with a certain amount of force. At the same time, you should also take the opportunity to find out the whereabouts of the traitor Orochimaru who provided information from Sand Shinobi, and solve him. Pain finished the task without any haste, his expression still indifferent. After listening to this series of words, Ching Yu raised his eyebrows suddenly, then chuckled lightly, and exclaimed sincerely. Really worthy of the leader. Have you analyzed the situation so thoroughly in such a short period of time? Pain didn't answer the conversation, but continued to say indifferently. Because the mission situation this time is rather special, it involves a direct confrontation with a Shinobu village. The current Akatsuki cannot be directly exposed. So, in this mission, you must temporarily disguise as a ninja in Rain Shinobi village. Deter Sand Shinobi in the name of Rain Shinobi, not Akatsuki. Understand? Ching Yu looked calm and nodded. He certainly knew that the current Akatsuki organization could not act too high profile. After all, on the one hand, the strength has not been fully formed yet. On the other hand, the tail beast capture plan has not yet officially started, and it is not wise to attract the attention of the 5 ninja villages. At this moment, Pain suddenly continued to speak indifferently. For the smooth completion of your mission, this time, I will send a team to cooperate secretly with you. Come out, Loquat Juzo, Uchiha Itachi, E.H. Ching Yu was taken aback for a moment. Chapter 68. I'm not familiar with you. Call me senior. 4 more, ===. Advertisement. Pain's voice fell off. From the cave behind him, 2 people immediately walked out. One has a bandaged face and a big knife on his back, the other has a calm complexion with red pupils, and the two stand together. Their temperaments are completely inconsistent. It is the third group of Akatsuki G, Loquat Juzo, and the new member who just joined Akatsuki not long ago, Uchiha Itachi. Seeing them come out, Ching Yu was stunned. Eh? What's the situation? Okay, how about my single team? Why are you just plugging 2 oil bottles for me? This one is Tai Hanhan who wants to slash-tailed beast bomb with a knife, and the other is Konoha who likes to put water in fights. This. Pain on the side seemed to see through Ching Yu's mind, suddenly closed his eyes slightly, and calmly explained. Relax, Ching Yu. They will not interfere with your mission. I have already told them. For this mission, they can only hide in secret to assist you. Until the moment of crisis, I will never take the initiative to show up. After all, one is Mist Shinobi's shinobi, and the other is Konoha's Uchiha. Both are too obvious. Once they show up, if they are recognized, it will be bad. Hearing this, Ching Yu came over instantly, nodded and said. Well, it's almost the same. Sansakura download. Pain's arrangement does make sense. After all, whether it is Mist Shinobi's beheading knife or Konoha's Uchiha Sharingan, they are both extremely famous features. Advertisement. Basically, it belongs to the level that can be recognized as soon as it is shot. It's not bad. These 2 guys are just watching and paddling the water this time. If they also go to grab the record, then Ching Yu would be unhappy. Read more at mtlarchive.com. After all, this time I went to Sanagakure. In addition to completing Akatsuki's task, Ching Yu still has a series of system branches waiting to be done. That's right. Last night, Ching Yu annihilated San Shinobi's Ambu ninjas. It immediately triggered a series of brand new side missions about Sanagakure in the system. Defeat 30 Sanagakure Chunin, 15/30ths, incomplete, and the reward is unknown. Defeat 10 Sanagakure Jonin, 6/10ths, unfinished, the reward is unknown. Defeat Sanagakure 4th Kazekage Rosa, 0/1, incomplete, unknown reward. Defeat Sanagakure 1 Tail Shuhei Jinchuriki Gaara, 0/1, unfinished, unknown reward. Such a series of tasks, after accumulating less and more, the benefits of Ryotsu are still considerable. Since I was going to frighten Sanagakure this time, there was no reason to make the branch line uncomfortably. Ching Yu didn't want these 2 guys to disturb him. And at this moment, suddenly, Uchiha Itachi, who had never spoken, walked straight to Ching Yu's body. Afterwards, he suddenly raised his eyes, stared at Ching Yu, and calmly said. Ching Yu, isn't it? It seems that we will be temporary partners for this mission, please take care of it. His tone was not rushed, and his expression was very weak. It seems that I just wanted to say hello, superficial. However, advertisement at this time, Ching Yu suddenly narrowed his eyes, then stared at Uchiha Itachi, chuckled and raised a finger, and said. First, don't call my name directly. I am not familiar with you. Since you joined Akatsuki after me, you should call me senior, politely, understand? When the voice fell, Uchiha Itachi was startled, but he didn't expect Ching Yu to say this suddenly. However, shortly afterwards, he even more unexpectedly happened. Ching Yu suddenly stretched out his second finger, and at the same time, the smile on his face disappeared. Second, don't try to use your pair of Sharingan to illusion me. Next time, I will gouge your eyes, understand? As soon as the voice fell, Ching Yu's Ryotsu burst out. The invisible terror pressure came instantly, surging in all directions. The surrounding Pen, Konan, and Loquat Juzo heard this and immediately all their expressions changed. As for Uchiha Itachi, his pupils shrank instantly and he froze completely. No, it's impossible. My Sharingan was actually seen through? Chapter 69. My pupil power is only 6,000, he is at least 10,000 or more, ===. Advertisement. Uchiha Itachi is completely confused. The moment he looked at each other, he did use Sharingan on Ching Yu. And his original purpose was actually just trying to analyze Ching Yu's golden pupil, Evil King True Eye. As a result, nothing can be parsed out, so he tried to quietly use Sharingan's spiritual suggestion illusion, wanting to test whether these golden pupils can be immune to it. As a result, this guy was not only successfully immunized. He was directly aware of the subtle operation Itachi made at this moment. In Itachi's heart, he involuntarily began to breathe in cold air, his pupils tightened in disbelief. From this moment on, he began to make sure the golden pupils of Ching Yu named Evil King True Eyes are definitely some kind of mysterious blood succession-bound pupil technique. Moreover, his pupil power has been so strong that it cannot be resolved at all. If my Sharingan pupil power is only 6,000, then his Evil King's True Eyes are at least 10,000. It's completely monster level. While Itachi was thinking at a high speed, the Loquat Juzo on the side suddenly covered his face and wanted to drive away. F***ck. You said it's not good for you to test? Have to test this guy? Because I have repeatedly emphasized to you not to mess with him. 107, you really are an iron-headed baby. Loquat Shizong cursed secretly in his heart, however. Pain and Konan on the side did not conceal the emotions in their hearts. In an instant, the two immediately sank their faces. Immediately afterwards, Pain flicked away and suddenly came directly in front of Uchiha Itachi. He looked down at Itachi with Rinnegan condescendingly and said with a sullen look. Advertisement, 107, what are you doing? Using Sharingan at this time, have you forgotten the content of Akatsuki's ban? As soon as the voice fell, Uchiha Itachi suddenly recovered from his thoughts. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Then he was shocked, and immediately lowered his head and said quickly. Sorry. I was just curious about Senior Ching Yu's eyes, so I offended. Absolutely no intention of provoking or stealing. With that said, Uchiha Itachi immediately looked at Ching Yu again, and seemed to lower his head very sincerely, and said calmly. Senior Ching Yu, please don't care. I have never seen such magnificent eyes as you before, and even Konoha's third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen's record has never mentioned it. That's why I am too curious. I am so sorry. Uchiha Itachi lowered his head and explained in an unhurried manner. His face was not red and his heart beat. Seeing this picture, Ching Yu suddenly squinted his eyes and couldn't help but feel emotional in his heart. You really deserve to be the actor Uchiha Itachi. Even if he apologizes to others, his tone and demeanor are still extremely calm and unwavering. This non-surprising acting skill is almost on the same level as that of an honest man with glasses in Shinigami. Thinking of this, Ching Yu said with a blank expression on his face. Your reason is really easy to understand, but your Konoha Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen doesn't even know my eyes? Hey, isn't he known as the king of Ninja World? He doesn't even understand this. Dr. Ninjutsu. Ching Yu flipped Baikugan, turned around, waved his hand, and said. Advertisement, go away, I can't play with Konoha. Assemble at the tower in an hour, and set off for Sunagakure. Finished, Ching Yu has left the cave leisurely. After everyone was silent for a while, Pain looked at Uchiha Itachi again and said indifferently. Itachi, from now on, it is not allowed to shoot any of Akatsuki's companions. Otherwise, you will be treated as a traitor of Akatsuki just like Orochimaru, do you understand? Understood. Itachi lowered his eyes slightly and nodded. The Loquat Shizong on the side just spoke, wiped his sweat, and complained a little uncomfortably. Tisk. Really, I told you not to test that guy, you see, your skills are not as good as humans, right? Uchiha Itachi was silent for a while, before whispering. Mr. Shizo, you are right. Senior Ching Yu's true eyes of the evil king. Really unexpectedly powerful, far above me. This time, go to Sand Shinobi, maybe we can appreciate the scene of Senior Ching Yu fighting with these golden pupils. Uchiha Itachi's eyes flickered slightly. I don't know what I'm thinking about. Chapter 70 The Wind's Will, began to restlessly, ===. Advertisement time flies, came to the next night. The Wind Country far away, in Sunagakure. In Feng Ying's living room, an attendant suddenly broke in, and she hurriedly said. Excuse me. Master Feng Ying. The Anbu team responsible for investigating Konoha Uchiha's intelligence has returned. We are waiting for you in the office. Well, are you back? When Feng Ying Luosha heard it, she felt completely drowsy for a while. He stood up and walked towards the door, faintly excited. Go and listen to the information now. Whether Konoha's Uchiha clan has really died out, this information is of great importance and has even affected Sand Shinobi's entire rise plan. Therefore, Luosha naturally has to listen to them personally. After a while, Rosa saw the two returning Anbu teams in front of the office. Master Feng Ying, Master 4th Generation Mu. All the Anbu members immediately saluted him respectfully, and almost all of them had a hint of joy in their faces. Seeing this, Feng Ying Luosha felt happy. However, on the surface, he still smiled patiently. Thank you, everyone. This time I went to Konoha's intelligence investigation. What was the result? As soon as the voice fell, an Anbu squad leader immediately took a step forward, lowered his head slightly, and forced himself to speak with excitement. Reporting Master Feng Ying is good news. Everything that the information said about Konoha is all true. Advertisement, Konoha's Uchiha, really as early as 2 weeks ago, he was completely annihilated by the rebel Uchiha Itachi. However, Third Hokage Sarutobi Hiruzen has already ordered a strict ban on this matter. Therefore, until now, no country or shinobu village has been able to know this greatest piece of information. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Except for a Sand Shinobi, in the end, the excitement in the Anbu captain's face is almost obvious. A piece of information that other shinobi does not know but only Sand Shinobi has. What is this called? This is called an absolute intelligence difference advantage. As long as you make good use of this advantage, Sand Shinobi can do a lot. On the side, after listening to these words, Luosha's face naturally showed an excited smile, and immediately afterwards, his eyes lit up quickly. Well, sure enough, we did not live up to our expectations, haha. For the first time, Feng Ying Luosha laughed uncontrollably, and her eyes seemed to flash with stars. In that case, then the decline of Konoha village is a foregone conclusion. Next, as long as we successfully win Rain Shinobi village, we will surely be able to take advantage of the trend and eventually become the #1 shinobi village. When it comes to the last 4 words, first ninja village. Luosha's tone suddenly rose, and all the Sand Shinobi Anbu members present were all very excited and enthusiastic. This moment, it seems that the will of the wind in everyone's heart is agitated. But at this moment, Funying Luosha suddenly noticed something strange, and then slightly startled and frowned. And many more, there is something wrong. Advertisement. Logically speaking, the distance from San Shinobi to Rain Shinobi village is much closer than the distance from San Shinobi to Konoha. However, it has been so long now. Even the Anbu squad that went to Konoha have returned smoothly. Why haven't the 3 squads that went to Rain Shinobi village been moving? Could something be wrong? Shouldn't be. Even if you encounter an enemy, someone should be able to escape. Luosha's expression suddenly condensed, and she deliberated carefully. But at this moment, suddenly, outside of Sanagakure, there was a huge explosion sound suddenly. Boom. Deafening like a landslide, the entire Sanagakure land seemed to tremble with it. All the expressions of everyone present suddenly change. And at this moment, a San Shinobi ninja suddenly rushed over, pale and screamed in horror. No, it's not good, Master Funying. Someone invaded San Shinobi. Chapter 71 Far Sky, Night, Burning Golden Pupil. Advertisement. What? Invasion. Funying Luosha's pupil suddenly shrank, and her head suddenly stunned. But in the next instant, he immediately reacted, his face sank in an instant, looked at the San Shinobi, and shouted in a deep voice. Who is the enemy? Where do they come from? How many are there? As soon as the roar came out, the ninja who reported the news trembled suddenly, and then his face was ugly and authentic. For the time being, I haven't seen the full picture of the enemy yet. However, looking at the costumes, it seems to come from Rain Shinobi village in the land of rain. So far, only one person has been found, and the identity is unknown. As soon as the words fell, the scene was silent for an instant. Not only Funying Luosha, but also the San Shinobi Anbu members on the side, were all confused at the same time. What's the situation? San Shinobi, one of our 5 great shinobi villages, was invaded by a small country Rain Shinobi? Why is there only one person? This is too outrageous for TM. At this moment, Funying Luosha's expression turned gloomy to the extreme in an instant and said angrily. Humph. What a Rain Shinobi village. I think I have some strength, so I dare to shoot a San Shinobi without authorization? Are they arrogant enough to forget the strength of our San Shinobi? As soon as the voice fell, Luosha's whole body immediately exploded with chakra aura. He quickly turned around and looked at the Anbu crowd in front of him, and said firmly and sternly. Advertisement, all Anbu staff, dispatch immediately. Quickly find out where all the hidden enemies are, and annihilate them all. No, wait. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Don't kill them all, remember to leave alive. I want to see. Why is a Rain Shinobi so arrogant? Funying Luosha spoke gloomily, and the anger in her eyes was clearly visible. Although the current Sanagakure's strength is indeed declining day by day, it is still one of the 5 great shinobu villages in the shinobi world. No matter how weak, it is not allowed to be offended by any small country shinobu. This is Luosha's pride as 4th Kazekage, yes. San Shinobi's Anbu members answered in unison instantly, their faces extremely solemn. After seeing Master Funying being so angry, they naturally didn't dare to neglect it in the slightest. After a while, 2 Anbu teams, a total of 14 members, jumped out instantly, all rushing in the direction of the explosion sound outside. And Luosha narrowed her eyes slightly, and said to herself coldly. Could it be that, the demigod of Rain Shinobi village, Hanzo of the Salamander is not dead at all? It seems that after the storm of the invasion is over, it's almost time to officially declare war on Rain Shinobi. Luosha's eyes gleamed slightly with a sharp light. Now that Konoha's Uchiha clan has perished is a certain fact. Then, Sanagakure doesn't have to worry about other things at all. The rest that needs to be solved are just a Rain Shinobi village and an old Hanzo, not to be afraid of. As long as the country of rain is successfully captured. Advertisement it was. The time when Sanagakure, the country of wind, rose. At the same time, far away, beyond the Sanagakure border. Above a mess of building ruins, there are countless thick smoke and dust sweeping the sky. The weird blue flame swayed and burned gently on the ruins. Dyed everything in the way into an anxious color. And at this time, countless San Shinobi ninjas were lying on the ground, covered in bruises and scars, and looked terrified. Everyone's eyes showed incredible horror, staring at the figure in front of them. The one standing above the sky. In the dark night, the young man with golden eyes burning. Chapter 72 Funying Luosha, come out and get beaten, .. Advertisement. What exactly happened? At that moment, what did he do? At this moment, all San Shinobi's faces were horrified and froze completely. Their thoughts were almost completely interrupted, and there was only one question left in their minds. However, but no one can figure it out, when they just noticed that Rain Shinobi appeared high in the sky. That bunch of blooming blue flames has already struck. After that, it was like a dragon of destruction, destroying and disintegrating all the defenses of everyone on the ground. Just one shot of fire style, then everything along the way will be crushed to death. Such a terrifying attack turned out to be something that mortals can release. It's too strong to be too outrageous, right? All San Shinobi froze in place. At this moment, no one dared to make extra moves. And the young Rain Shinobi who burned his golden eyes in the sky didn't seem to intend to attack anymore. He just stood in the night sky, looking down at ease with his complexion. At this time, suddenly, the mutation happened. I saw Sanagakure's direction, and suddenly, a group of powerful chakra breaths were approaching at high speed. Then, 14 ninjas wearing Sand Shinobi Anbu uniforms suddenly emerged from the night sky and landed. Huh! At the moment they landed, the clothes of the 14s immediately rose against the wind, with an imposing aura. Seeing this sudden spectacular scene, those Sand Shinobi who had just been defeated were taken aback. Immediately afterwards, many people's faces suddenly burst into joy. That is. The elite ninjas of Anbu, they came so soon? 25, 2. Great, it must be Master Funging Luosha who asked them to help us. Now, there is only one enemy, but we have 14 powerful Anbu elite ninjas, it's saved. In this wave, we have a great advantage. The faces of several Sand Shinobi ninjas suddenly showed the afterlife like smiles, and they spoke very calmly and confidently. And the group of Sand Shinobi Anbu ninjas who rushed to hear these words of praise, of course, were very happy in their hearts. At this moment, one of the Anbu ninjas turned around, looked at the Sand Shinobi, grinned confidently, and said with a smile. Thanks, everyone. The next battle, please leave it to us Anbu to complete it. So, where is the enemy who just invaded Sand Shinobi? The Anbu member spoke very gently, revealing his confidence. However, the next moment, he saw that person's face suddenly hesitated. He hesitated for a long time, then slowly raised his hand, and suddenly pointed to the sky above their heads. This weird action, in an instant, all Sand Shinobi Anbu members were stunned at the same time. What's the meaning? Overhead. What a joke, how could the enemy appear on top of his head? The Sand Shinobi Anbu ninjas frowned suddenly, but they still subconsciously followed the direction that the man pointed, looking towards the sky above. And the next moment, the picture that appeared in front of them was a famous scene they will never forget. I saw high above the sky and under the moonlight. A young man wearing Rain Shinobi's black ninja suit is standing high above the sky, smiling and looking down. There was a brilliant golden glow in his eyes, as if burning all the time. Now, he just grinned slightly, and suddenly stretched out an index finger, pointed at the Sand Shinobi below, smiled and said. Although your rescue was very timely and surprising, but... Advertisement, for miscellaneous fish, please leave the show for now. 63 of Hado, Fiery Lightning Howl, boom. As soon as the voice fell, countless golden thunder and lightning instantly appeared in front of the boy's fingers, condensing into the sky full of thunder frenzy. In the next moment, all the lightning moments were like the overturning of the ocean, and they slammed straight toward the Sand Shinobi Anbu below. Bang! The entire night sky was directly illuminated by this dazzling lightning cannon into the day. All Sand Shinobi members below were all dumbfounded. Damn it. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Everyone's eyes widened, their pupils shrunk, and their brains were almost blank. Before they even understood why this young man could stand in the sky, they had already seen the terrifying thunder pillar slammed down. NMD, do you want to make a move when you say it? We just came out, hello, can you give us some reaction time? When all Sand Shinobi members felt the terrifying thunder pressure, all their backs were chilled and shocked. However, as the elites, they naturally did not get confused. Even though he was horrified, he still gritted his teeth and began to try to dodge, trying to escape the range of this lightning pillar. But, just when they tried to leave, suddenly, another invisible and terrifying coercion fell from the sky and hit each of them instantly. In an instant, everyone's body speed suddenly stopped. They are as if they are trapped in an invisible air swamp, it is difficult to move even a bit. This is... What power? All Sand Shinobi's complexion suddenly changed, and all his pupils dilated. And because of the restraint of this moment, their fleeing action directly declared a failure. Say it's too late, then it's fast. The fierce golden fiery lightning howl just penetrated the sky and the earth, blasting down, indiscriminately submerging every Sand Shinobi Anbu below. Boom! The whole earth was shaken by this strong shockwave. Thunder and lightning are rushing like an ocean, and those Sand Shinobi who were a little closer were instantly lifted off by the powerful shockwave that spread. The wind is whistling, and the thunder is not stopping. Even Ching Yu from high in the sky, his clothes were blown up. Until a long time later, those golden thunder and lightning frenzy began to disappear, and finally disappeared. And on the surface of the sand at this time, only the ground scorched by thunder and lightning was left, and 14 figures lying on the ground. There are 14 people in Anbu, and no one is spared at this moment. All members were killed in a second. Silence. Silence like death. Over the entire desert, except for the sound of the breeze passing by, there is nothing else. And the Sand Shinobi who watched the battle at this moment were all frozen in their throats, their faces pale and sweat rained down. They just felt a great advantage, but at this moment, they were completely stupid. What's going on? The ninjas of Anbu, aren't they the elite of Sand Shinobi? Why are even elite ninjas killed in seconds? Isn't it too ridiculous? Everyone raised their heads, looking up at the figure of the young man in the sky, desperate and frightened. However, at this time, what no one knows is, in the darkness in the distance, there are also two figures lurking in the same way. It was the two people who came to Sand Shinobi with Qing Yu Loquat Juzo, Uchiha Itachi. At this moment, the expressions of the two of them were a little dumbfounded. Advertisement. The visual impact brought by the unprinted golden lightning style just now is undoubtedly very powerful, especially in this dark night sky. The moment of release, it seems that the entire desert and the sky have all changed to gold. The point is that not only the destructive power is amazing, but it is so long-lasting, which is outrageous. Until a long time later, a drop of cold sweat was drawn from Loquat Juzo's forehead, his face was weird and he laughed, looked at Uchiha Itachi next to him, and said in a low voice. Itachi, this powerful golden lightning style, have you seen it? As soon as the voice fell, Uchiha Itachi immediately retracted his gaze. After a long silence, he shook his head solemnly and said. No, never seen before. Presumably, this is what Kakuzu once said, the escape technique hidden in the eyes of Senior Ching Yu's golden pupil evil came true. The power is incredible. Although Itachi's tone was calm, the expression on his face was exceptionally solemn. Even with a trace of dread, and at this time. Ching Yu standing in the air, he also slowly retracted his fingers, and a satisfied smile appeared on his face. Hado, who has poured all of Ryatsu into it, is even more extraordinary. Even the 63rd Fiery Lightning Hell, with the suppression of Ryatsu, can easily get rid of ordinary Sand Shinobi Jonin without chanting. I don't know if it's because Hado's power is too strong, or Sand Shinobi's ninjas are so unbelievable. When Ching Yu was thinking about it, a prompt sound came in his mind at the right time. Ding! Congratulations to host, side mission accomplished. Beat 30 Sanagakure Chunin, 30 30ths, completed. Reward. Ryatsu plus 1000, Keto experience plus 500, Mul points plus 200. Beat 10 Sanagakure Jonin, 10 out of 10, completed. Rewards. Ryatsu plus 1000, Keto experience plus 600, Mul points plus 300. When the prompt sound fell, Ching Yu raised his eyebrows slightly and a smile flashed in his eyes. Before 850 came, he was still worried that Sand Shinobi didn't have so many people to fight him, but he didn't expect that the previous shot and the Fiery Lightning Howl shot just now would be completed directly, which is really good. Then, next, only need to defeat Fengying and Jinchuriki, this time the mission can basically be completed. Thought of here, Ching Yu slowly fell from the air and walked directly towards the people of Sanagakure. His steps are sloppy, his complexion is leisurely, he is so relaxed that he doesn't want an intruder at all, but just like walking in a leisurely courtyard. Quote question mark exclamation mark quote. Seeing this picture, all Sand Shinobi ninjas suddenly changed their complexions, staring at the coming Ching Yu in amazement, terrified. At this time, from nowhere, a Sand Shinobi ninja suddenly jumped out. He raised the ninja in his hand again and again, trembling in a defensive posture, trembling forcibly and loudly. Stop. Stop, no, don't come closer, Rain Shinobi's ninja. Are you going to officially declare war on Sanagakure, the country of wind? Our Fengying Luosha-sama, but I will never spare you. He yelled sternly. The trembling in his tone clearly showed his fear. Obviously, at this moment, he wanted to use the prestige of Fengying Luosha to shock Ching Yu. However, after hearing this, Ching Yu really stopped 2 meters away from them. Seeing this picture, many Sand Shinobi were startled. Is it effective? This guy. Is he really afraid of our Fengying Luosha-sama too? Realizing that this might be possible, a faint hope suddenly rose in their hearts. But at this moment, however, Ching Yu in front of him suddenly grinned slightly, looking at the Sand Shinobi people in front of him, smiling gently and saying. Okay, then I won't move forward, go and inform your 4th Kazekage Luosha. Let him come out quickly and get beaten, Hearing this, all Sand Shinobi ninjas were all dumbfounded. Chapter 73 You really deserve to be the first loving father in the ninja world, ===. Advertisement at the same time, the other side. In the center of Sanagakure, in the Fengying office. Luosha looked at a map of shinobi in front of her face and considered the question of the capture of Rain Shinobi village. Although he just heard the sound of an explosion, he didn't care. Because he is very relieved of the strength of his own group of Anbu ninjas. But at this moment, suddenly, a panicked Sand Shinobi ninja rushed in and slapped directly to the desk. His face was pale, he looked at Luosha and said in a trembling voice. No, it's not good. Master Fengying, you. The 2 Anbu teams you just sent, were defeated by the enemy. Luosha's movement suddenly stiffened. What did you say? Afterwards, before this person could react, he immediately frowned deeply, his face very gloomy and authentic. A total of 14 Anbu ninjas were dispatched, and they were defeated in such a short time? Damn it, how many people are the enemy? Hearing this, the ninja's expression instantly became uglier than crying. After hesitating for a long time, he spoke bitterly. Just one. Saint Sakura download, from beginning to end, it seems that he is the only one. As soon as the voice fell, Luosha's expression instantly became confused, and 10,000 question marks appeared in her mind at the same time. Just kidding. Can one person wipe out the 14 Anbu people in such a short time? Did the G Hanzo come in person? No, not right. If it were the old guy Hanzo, he would have been recognized for his poisonous gas. In other words, it may be a hidden figure in Rain Shinobi village. Aware of this, Luosha gritted her teeth instantly and stood up directly. He stared in the direction of Yuankong, suddenly narrowed his eyes, and said solemnly. Humph. It seems this time, Rain Shinobi is determined to attack me Sand Shinobi, has he directly sent a strong man with shadow-level strength. Luosha clearly understood it in her heart. Being able to kill Anbu Jonin so quickly, there is no possibility other than the shadow class. At this time, if ordinary ninjas are sent to meet the enemy, there is no doubt that they will be given away food. Thinking of this, Luosha's eyes suddenly sank, she looked at the ninja and said coldly. Go. Come with me, tell me the information about his battle just now one by one, and then, I'll take care of him. After finishing speaking, Luosha directly took off the wind shadow robe on the side, looked at her body in an instant, and walked out directly. That confident pace demonstrates his strong self-confidence as Fourth Kazekage. Seeing this picture, this Sand Shinobi's eyes slowly ignited the light of hope, and he quickly followed it away. But, the moment the two had just walked out of the office, suddenly, an unexpected figure appeared in front of Luosha. Advertisement: this is a child who is only 7 or 8 years old. He has thick dark circles under the eyes, and short red hair like Luosha, with the word, love, on his forehead. However, although his appearance looks immature, the murderous and bloody breath revealed in those eyes is particularly strong. It's hard to believe that a 7 or 8-year-old child will look like a person who has gone through a fight. He is Sanagakure's one-tailed Jinchuriki, Gaara. At this moment, seeing his appearance, the Sand Shinobi ninja on the side shuddered suddenly, and quickly avoided his gaze. He didn't even dare to look at Gaara. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Luosha, who was on the side, was also startled for a moment, and then suddenly seemed to think of something. Her eyes flashed abruptly. He looked at Gaara indifferently, and said without emotion. Sand Shinobi was invaded by foreign enemies. I'm going to protect the village myself now, so come with you, Gaara. Let the people of Rain Shinobi village feel the power of the ultimate weapon. After all, he didn't look at Gaara at all, so he waved his robe and walked forward. After listening to these words, Gaara's face did not change, and she remained silent all the time. Even when he heard the words, ultimate weapon, he was already numb. He just looked at Luosha's back indifferently and said softly, "It's father." When the voice fell, he lifted his footsteps, followed Luosha's pace, and headed outside Sanagakure. After a while, Feng Ying Luosha took a group of Sand Shinobi's ninjas and hurried over. Everyone at Sand Shinobi here immediately all smiled, and a ray of hope appeared in their hearts again. It's Master Feng Ying, Master Murasa 4th generation is here in person. Hear their voices. Ching Yu raised his eyes blankly and looked forward. As a result, this look suddenly surprised him. Unexpectedly, behind Luosha, there was an immature child, Gaara. Ching Yu raised his eyebrows slightly and couldn't help but smile. He originally planned to find a way to find this one-tail Shuhei Jinchuriki after defeating Luosha. Unexpectedly, Luosha, B, came here with his son. It's kind of interesting, when Ching Yu was thinking. From this side, Feng Ying Luosha naturally also immediately noticed the situation here. The first thing that catches the eye is the ruins and burnt sand everywhere, and the second is the countless Sand Shinobi ninjas lying on the ground. The more she looked down, Luosha's face grew gloomy. Sand Shinobi, one of the 5 great Shinobi villages, was ever suppressed to this level by a small country? What a shame. Luosha's feet landed, 2 meters away from Ching Yu. Only then did he clearly see the enemy's appearance. She has short brown hair, forehead protector from Rain Shinobi village, golden pupils, angular face, and a scattered and leisurely smile on her face. Such a young film-level powerhouse. In Luosha's impression, he had never heard of it. What's even stranger is that this guy is still from Rain Shinobi village. The new generation of ninjas in that small place are so terrifying now? While Rosa was thinking, suddenly, Ching Yu's voice came, interrupting his thoughts. I saw Ching Yu slightly raised his chin and glanced at Gaara before looking at Luosha, then chuckled lightly. Advertisement, really worthy of being the first loving father in the ninja world, Feng Ying Luosha. It's really admirable to bring my young son to the battlefield. As soon as these words came out, Luosha's expression was stunned for an instant. What? The first loving father in the ninja world? He's talking about me. Ching Yu's sudden opening remarks instantly caused Luosha's brain to enter a short-lived blank. However, after only a moment, he immediately realized that he seemed to be mocked. Luosha's heart suddenly sank, and then her eyes condensed. Looking at Ching Yu, she said in a deep voice. The strength of your tongue, people of Rain Shinobi village. You will die here because you underestimated him. Talking, Luosha didn't talk nonsense at all. Looking directly at Gaara who was aside, her eyes were sharp, and she said coldly. Go on, Gaara. Use the power of you and Shuhei, to completely defeat him. Let the people of Rain Shinobi village know what is the real ultimate weapon. As soon as the voice fell, Gaara suddenly raised her eyes slightly, and stared at Ching Yu in front of her sternly, took a step forward, and replied indifferently. It's father. As soon as the voice fell, he controlled the sandstorm and attacked forward. And at this time, seeing this picture, all the Sand Shinobi surrounding them suddenly changed their complexions, and their hearts were overwhelmed. What? Master Feng Ying ordered Gaara to take action. Doesn't this guy have that terrifying monster in his body? In case of rampage, that monster will attack indiscriminately. Thought of here, a member of the guard stepped forward immediately, with an ugly expression on his face. Master Feng Ying, please be cautious. Gaara's power is not fully mastered, so he can't let him face the enemy. If he loses control of his emotions and causes Shuhei to run away, it will definitely put Sand Shinobi into a more unfavorable situation. As soon as the voice fell, Luosha's face suddenly sank, and she whispered. Idiot. Gaara itself is Sand Shinobi's weapon, and each of his battles is an experiment with weapons. If he can't even control the power of Shuhei, he will never be able to enter the strongest posture. We Sand Shinobi don't need such weapons either. Understand? At the end, Luosha's eyes were sharp. Loose. As soon as the voice fell, the Sand Shinobi ninjas on the side suddenly shook their bodies and hurriedly said. Ming, understand, Master Fengying. Chapter 74 The Strongest Illusion, the mouth is launched, ===. Advertisement The existence of Gaara, for 4th Kazekage Luosha, it was never a sun or one-tailed Jinchuriki. It is a pure tail beast weapon. A powerful weapon that can destroy the country as long as it is properly controlled. Because of this, when he first met Gaara, he deliberately brought him over. The purpose is very simple. It is to use the enemy in front of you as a sharpening stone to promote Gaara's strength. At this moment, there was a boom. The flying sandstorm slammed into Ching Yu's body, making a loud noise. Gaara's gaze was very fierce. She didn't intend to stay at all. She continued to ruthlessly manipulate the sandstorm in the gourd on her back, and slammed in that direction again. At this time, he hadn't mastered too many ninjutsu skills. Therefore, there is only one way for him to attack. That is complete crushing. Ignore any state of the enemy, just control all your sandstorms and rush out, so as to achieve the goal of completely destroying the enemy. What Ching Yu is suffering from is this kind of unruly attack. However, at this moment, Fengying Luosha on the side looked at the front, suddenly frowned slightly, and muttered to herself in surprise. Huh, what's the matter? He didn't choose to avoid. As a strong man above the shadow level, facing these straightforward attacks from Gaara just now, he should be able to avoid it, why not hide? While Luosha was thinking about it, suddenly, an abnormal change happened. I saw a huge breath in the sandstorm ahead. Immediately afterwards, a majestic wave of air blasted 850 into the wave, and suddenly all the surrounding sandstorms were completely dispersed in an instant. Boom. All sandstorm attacks were completely disintegrated in an instant. At this moment, the inside picture was revealed. I saw Ching Yu in black, still standing still. His right hand was slightly raised, and a white air current radiated from it. Obviously, the shock wave of the airwave just came from this hand. Seeing this picture, Gaara's pupils suddenly shrank and froze. It turns out, just use one hand to break up my sandstorm? How come, however, it is not waiting for him to be shocked? Suddenly, Ching Yu's figure suddenly cocked and appeared directly behind Gaara. Gaara had no time to react to this superb shunpo. Ching Yu directly raised a hand and said calmly. The fourth of Hado Bai Lei. Boom! From Ching Yu's fingertips, a powerful blue thunderstorm burst out, slamming towards Gaara's back. At this moment, a sandstorm quickly emerged from behind Gaara, as if he wanted to protect Gaara and form a sand shield. However, before the construction of these sands was completed, Bai Lei had already hit Gaara directly with a swift speed. Gaara's young body was completely knocked into flight by this majestic force, like a kite with a broken line, flying upside down for tens of meters. Bang! Finally landed, motionless. At this moment, he seemed to pass out directly. The scene suddenly fell silent. In just 3 seconds, the form was completely reversed. Gaara, who was still pressing Ching Yu, was knocked down by an unknown lightning style just a short time after the sandstorm was broken. Advertisement. There is even no room for resistance and struggle. And, what is the instant technique just now? Why, can he move directly from such a long distance? All Sand Shinobi ninjas froze. In fact, Uchiha Itachi and Loquat Juzo, both in the dark in the distance, also froze completely at the same time. The two of them were different from the Sand Shinobi people, and they completely saw the moment when Ching Yu broke through the sandstorm with his palm and attacked. The two immediately glanced at each other, and they were both blinded. Read more at mtlarchive.com. Loquat Juzo's eyes showed a ghostly look, a little unbelievably authentic. That fellow Ching Yu, actually has TM skills? Easy to shake so many sandstorms with one hand. Keep on, what are you kidding me? Hearing that, Uchiha Itachi was equally dignified and silent. Both of them were experienced people, and naturally knew that the kid's attack was not a joke. Whether it is speed or destructive power, his sandstorm is amazingly strong. It can be said that it is no less than any C-level or B-level ninjutsu. However, even so, it was still easily broken open by Ching Yu with one hand. Both of them were silent for a moment, suddenly remembered the physique masters they had seen. One thought of might die, one thought of might guy. And at this time, on this side, Ching Yu retracted his hand, turned and looked at Fengying Luosha, with a blank expression on his face. That's it? This is the final weapon of Sand Shinobi you just said? It's amazing. Hearing this, Luosha completely froze. He didn't expect that Gaara would be broken so quickly. Didn't his sand obviously have the power of automatic defense? Didn't it work just now? No, it's not right. It's because this guy's change in attack speed are far beyond the speed of automatic defense. Thinking of this, Luosha gritted her teeth and looked at Gaara in front of her and said angrily. What are you doing, Gaara? Just such an attack makes you unable to stand up anymore. Too weak. Hurry up and stand up with the power of Shuhei. Use the power of your tail beast to redeem Sanagecure's dignity. Fengying Luosha roared fiercely. At this moment, he didn't know where he suddenly learned the strongest illusion, mouth escape, and began to cast spells on Gaara. Ching Yu raised his eyebrows, originally intended to be a joke. But I didn't expect, this moment, Gaara, who seemed to have passed out just now, was really moving. His hands trembled slightly. Damn it, mouth escape is really effective? Advertisement. Ching Yu immediately turned his head and looked at Gaara on the ground. But at this moment, although he was still waiting on the ground, his mouth softly murmured unconsciously. "It's father, father, sir," intermittent voices came from his mouth. However, at this moment, the mutation happened. Suddenly, an extremely powerful and fierce aura burst out from Gaara's body. The powerful chakra breath formed almost instantly, turning into an illusory state like a huge beast. At this moment, an invisible huge sense of oppression suddenly fell across the entire world. Even Ching Yu couldn't help but stare, and the people of Sand Shinobi changed their faces in an instant, looking at the huge illusory beast. Their eyes revealed an unconcealable color of fear. Tisk. Oops. Gaara is going into a runaway state. How could that scary monster is going to come out again? For a moment, the countless Sand Shinobi gates were pale and shocked. The wind shadow Luosha on the side was also taken aback for a moment, and then suddenly a sharp expression flashed in his eyes, angry and disappointed. The reason for anger is because, the reason he originally used his mouth to escape was that he hoped that Gaara could stand up by his own will, and then perfectly control the power of the tailed beast Shuhei to fight. But he did not expect, Gaara's will was broken, and Shuhei was given a chance. If nothing else, then, he seems to be about to fall into a state of complete runaway. That is, one-tail Shohei's complete tail beastization. Aware of this, Luosha's eyes suddenly became extremely heavy, as if it had become solid. Although he has a very slippery magnet-style dust, which can suppress the power of Sho Crane, it is also based on a battle. Sanagakure will definitely suffer a lot of property damage. This is why he was disappointed. Gaara, the ultimate weapon, failed another experiment. Whispering sound. Just when Rosa was thinking. Boom. Suddenly, the huge tail beast chakra burst out of Gaara's body like a flood of vents. Immediately afterwards, in the illusory chakra breath, a huge raccoon-shaped beast full of curse prints was formed in an instant. Ho 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 ho, a huge roar came from its majestic body. The moment it appeared, countless hurricanes were set off, and they spread to the surroundings suddenly, like an invisible giant hand, overturning everything. Boom. Countless Sand Shinobi who lacked strength were instantly lifted off. Clear the field directly. Now, those who are still staying near Shuhei. Only Fourth Kazekage Luosha and Ching Yu were left. Chapter 75 Does Rain Shinobi Village Have Tail Beasts? Advertisement. The violent storm swept past. Yellow sand and smoke swept through the sky endlessly. And below Shuhei, two completely different figures stood facing each other. Luosha uses magnet style to control the placer gold, forming a gold placer shield behind her, which is firmly fixed and blocked behind her to prevent it from being blown away. But Ching Yu on this side was still standing still, seeming to have done nothing. But the weird thing is, there is no trace of being blown by the wind at all around him. Whether it was his hair or his clothes, in the strong wind, none of them were affected in any way. When Luosha saw this, her eyes narrowed suddenly. But at this moment, suddenly, a screaming sound came from the top of the two of them. Oh, I finally came out ahhoo. A huge excitement sound came out from one-tail Shohei's mouth, deafening. That powerful sound wave blasted layers of sound waves in the air instantly. Even the Sand Shinobi who were blown into the distance couldn't help covering their ears. The expressions of everyone were shocked. Even though they had seen it once or twice, when they saw the monster named Shuhei again, everyone was still in an uncontrollable fear. After all, it was in Sand Shinobi, but it destroyed countless families. All Sand Shinobi dared to watch from a distance and communicated like prayers. I hope Master Fengying can suppress it this time. Absolutely. Absolutely. And the enemy of Rain Shinobi Village, Fengying-sama, can definitely defeat them. Don't worry, everyone, in this desert, it is Lord Luosha's home ground. He has even sealed monsters several times. How can he be afraid of that enemy? All Sand Shinobi ninjas are cheering each other. Although there are also some of them with higher strengths, they can't enter the battle at this level. I can only be unwilling to be a crowd of onlookers looking forward to Fengying Luosha's victory. And this side at this time, Shuhei, who had finished screaming, seemed very happy and let out a comfortable grunt. Then, suddenly lowered the fat huge head, looked down, grinned, and said with a smile. Oh. Unexpectedly, as soon as I came out, I saw a hateful old acquaintance. Luosha, is it you? I've been wanting to beat you up for a long time, hello. One-tail Shuhei smiled cruelly and said. At the beginning, when Gaara was practicing controlling the power of the tail beast, Shozuru took the opportunity to occupy the consciousness and slipped out twice. However, they all lost to the Fourth Kazekage Luosha. So when it saw Luosha at this moment, it was naturally that the enemy met and were extremely jealous. However, hearing these words, Luosha only had her eyes sinking slightly, and she said in a condensed voice. Shuhei, I don't have time to talk to you for the time being. Sand Shinobi has an enemy coming. As Fengying, I must first solve him first. Then it will be your turn. Clam. Hearing Luosha's words, one-tail Shuhei suddenly let out a strange cry. Then, its gaze instantly turned to Ching Yu, who was standing opposite Luosha. After seeing it clearly, Shuhei suddenly lifted his mouth, as if he was very unhappy and said. Hey. What? Hey. The enemy you were talking about, is it this brown-haired kid? Tisk. Watch me blow him flat. Before he finished speaking, Shuhei took a breath without saying a word, and suddenly his whole stomach became swollen. Advertisement. In the next moment, it instantly turned towards Ching Yu below, and opened its mouth mercilessly. Wind-style practice empty play. Boom. The majestic wind-style chakra instantly condensed in Shohei's mouth and turned into an infinitely compressed wind ball, and then suddenly sprayed towards Ching Yu. The violent storm neighs like countless explosions gathered together, and the sound is extremely powerful. In a blink, the huge wind cannon is covering Ching Yu instantly. However, read more at mtlarchive.com. Just when I was about to touch Ching Yu, his figure suddenly turned into an afterimage and disappeared in the same place with a squeak. Boom! The air training projectile hits the surface of the sand, and instantly spreads an extremely powerful shockwave, causing a big earthquake to shake. A huge pothole was blasted out of the sand, and Ching Yu had already used Shunpo to quickly open the distance and came to the other side of Shuhei. See here, one-tailed Shuhei suddenly let out a tisk sound, and then muttered to himself. I have some abilities, little devil, interesting. However, Fangying Luosha's expression on the side was still indifferent, just staring at Ching Yu, and said coldly. The person of Rain Shinobi, I don't understand why you suddenly attacked Sand Shinobi. But, today I will let you have a good understanding of the so-called gap between a small country and a big country. The power of Sand Shinobi's tail beast is something you can't cross. As the shadow of the big country Ninamura, Luosha has his own arrogance, which is beyond doubt. Moreover, he also believes that as long as it succeeds in capturing Rain Shinobi through this time of Konoha's decline, Sand Shinobi will surely rise up and become the strongest shinobi village. However, just after he said this, the opposite Ching Yu suddenly showed a slight smile on his face. He raised his eyes and looked at Luosha, smiling and saying, Since you don't understand, then I can only make you understand a little bit. After all, I'm here this time, but I specifically represent Rain Shinobi, and I'm deterring you Sand Shinobi by force. If you don't use a thorough force to crush you, I'm afraid it's useless. Quote question mark exclamation mark quote. Deterrence by force. As soon as this word came out, Luosha's eyes were taken aback and forced. What's the situation? Just send one person to deter our entire Synagakure by force. Still want to use a thorough force to crush us? Damn you. Is there a mistake? Why do the ninjas of Rain Shinobi village look down on us so much, Sand Shinobi? Think we are the weakest shinobu village? Ask for flowers. Luosha's face instantly became gloomy to the extreme, and she said coldly. Huh, when did Rain Shinobi have been arrogant to this level? I want to rely on you to crush us Sand Shinobi? The voice fell. Luosha instantly controlled the dust to fly up with a calm face, already wanting to attack directly. Advertisement however, Ching Yu on this side not only ignored him, but suddenly raised his hand. I saw a mysterious black spell formation suddenly appeared on his palm, which was extremely strange. Even Fangying Luosha had never seen it before. At this moment, Ching Yu looked towards Luosha lightly, and said with a light smile. Rosa, your nonsense is a bit too much, please stop here. Next, let you see, the tail beast, belonging to our Rain Shinobi village. With that, Ching Yu suddenly bent down, placing the palm of his right hand directly on the ground, the curse spread out. He actually put on a posture of summoning technique. Zero Luosha, who was on the opposite side, saw this picture, and when he heard these words, he was once again dazed. And many more, what did he just say? Show me, the tail beast of Rain Shinobi village? Damn it, when did Rain Shinobi village have tail beasts? Fangying Luosha looked at Ching Yu with an extremely strange gaze, and was completely unbelievable at what he said to him. He even wondered if the person in front of him had a bad brain. The Shuhei on the side naturally heard these words at this moment, but unlike Luosha, its expression was a little weird. Perhaps because of curiosity, at this moment, it did not choose to shoot. And at this moment in the distance, Loquat Juzo and Uchiha Itachi, in this quiet night, naturally captured what Ching Yu said. But after listening, both of them were instantly confused. After the two looked at each other, they all looked blank. Huh? Rain Shinobi village has a tail beast? No, I don't know, is there? No, then. What does he mean? The two of them were also bewildered by Ching Yu's remarks, completely confused. Afterwards, he looked at Ching Yu over there again, and at this moment, the breeze gently brushed Ching Yu's hair. Suddenly, under Ching Yu's palm, the mysterious curse mark began to emit a faint purple light. Seeing this, Ching Yu's eyes flashed suddenly, and then, the corners of his mouth lightly opened, smiling and saying, The time is just right. Then, please don't blink, everyone. Summoning technique. Black Rope Heaven Scourge Ming King.